Then on the strand, with steeds and treasure, and armor their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold. On the mead bench, since he was better esteemed, that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding, they drove through the deep, and Daneland left. A sea-cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that wave-swimmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm-bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the Geatish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand updrove. Helpful at haven the harbour guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar. Dramatic low bass. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday stream. It is January 7th, 2025, and welcome to our first Tuesday stream of the year. And thank you for everybody who's subbing and resubbing. I saw that Prince Justin subbed, 69 months, obligatory nice reference. Thank you so much for the Tier 2 sub, Prince Justin. I really appreciate that so much. And I didn't really see you at all, but thank you still for being here. Thank you so much to Hillness. It's been 91 years. Thank you so much, Hillness, for the 91 months of support. My goodness, that's crazy. That means that we are only about 5 months away from, if I'm not mistaken, 8 years of support at that point, which would be pretty wild. So thank you so much, Hillness, for that support. And thank you as well. Good to see Big Boss. Good to see everybody here. And thank you as well, and Dragon Spear. And thank you to Effect Life. Welcome, Effect Life. Thank you again. 45 months of support. Hi, all. Happy New Year. And thank you to so much for Effect Life for that Tier 2 support. Also, hello to Deserted GM. And I am so happy that we are your favorite Beowulf AP stream. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. And welcome as well to Trifid and to all of the lovely folks who are here. It's good to see you all. I'm excited for our stream today as we get back into Tari Tuesdays, as we like to call them. Before we go any further, a couple of quick reminders about ways to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube. There's a ton to choose from. Well, that's right. Out of the thousands of options of Beowulf APs that you have, I'm glad that you've chosen this one. We know you have a choice of APs, and we're glad that you've chosen to fly with us, Beowulf Airlines. But please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube with !ArvTube if you're watching me over on YouTube right now. Thank you. I do want to encourage everyone again, please, to subscribe to us over on the YouTube channel, because we are at a new record list of subscribers. Every new subscriber over there, we hit a new record, so please do join us over there. Would love to get to 1,100 subscribers. We're only about 14 or 15 away from that number, so please do sub to us there. It is free for you to do that, but it really does help us out on our algorithm and so forth. You need an excuse to not build composition courses. Boy, do I know that feel. Amen to that. Well, I'm glad that we're giving you a legitimate excuse. You're doing research here. This is research on how language is constructed through the defeating of monsters in ancient times. So anyway, so yes, thank you for following us over on YouTube. Discord, !Arvcord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. I'm so happy that our new bot is notifying people on Discord when we go live, so you can follow the Arv Live channel, and you will never miss a stream when either I go live or when Shadowed Mage running the community D&D stream goes live. So it should be that part of it. Definitely check that out. Discord, hang out there. Twitter is !Arv Tweets. Blue Sky, @_ArvSky. I'm encouraging everybody to go to Blue Sky because Twitter, I'm going to be not on for that much longer, but I do need to get my follower numbers up a little more in Blue Sky. We're already up to just about 700, but really want to get that number up higher, and then I'm going to leave Twitter behind basically forever, but for multiple reasons. But one of them is I really just would rather have one social network to have to deal with besides Twitch, not two. But in the meantime, I am on both of them. So ! Arv Tweets and ! Arv Sky. Website, arvineleron.com for all of that. Also TikTok, ! Arv Talk. And I do have an announcement about this, which is that I have brought on board a social media manager. The social media manager is going to be handling things for my channel, for the Gen GM's channel that I do with Zach Clay, our DM and GM tip show, and for By the Dice Roll, which is my actual play group that streams at the moment over on GOG.com. This person is going to be handling our Twitter/Blue Sky feeds, is going to be doing some responses to YouTube videos and stuff like that. So you should hopefully see some more social media presence. I do have somewhat of a presence already, but this is something where it's going to be more steady, more regular, more reaching out to people because I don't have the time, and this is going to be really helpful to have that. So you should expect to see more, including hopefully over on TikTok as well. So short videos coming out, long videos coming out, a lot more in the new year. So we're excited about that. So be on the lookout for that. ! Arv Talk for TikTok. Again, website arvineleron.com. Financially, ! Arv Shop is the merchandise area. We have got stuff for Infinity and Beyond. We have got stuff for Adventures of Middle-earth and Middle-earth Middle-earth role-playing that we've got here as well, with like Shire Adventures. And there will be more stuff coming soon with other things, including things relating to Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks. Will I be doing TikTok dances? Unlikely, Deserted, unlikely. But one lives in hope, right? And I should mention as well that I forgot now what I was going to say because I was thinking about TikTok dances. I mentioned the website. I mentioned arvineleron.com. So Hearthglow is entering its final stages. I'm going to be doing a long recording this Friday, another long recording in February, and then we will have our finale in March. So we will have more of that stuff going up soon. Triffid, of course, the incredible audio editor, is going to be doing work on that show. So that is going to be getting to her over the weekend, and then she will be putting stuff out. So there'll be more audio, smaller shows that'll be happening soon. Very excited about Hearthglow. And we have also got, of course, I mentioned Gen GM, so you can follow that as well. So ! Arv Shop. The other thing I was going to say is I've just gotten updated information about the Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks campaign. The adventure has unfolded in front of us. I am very excited about what's going to happen next with all this new material coming from Alligator Alley, so you will definitely want to check that out. Coming up this Saturday is when you'll see the next session of Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks as they wrap up Chapter 4, Shadows and Twilight, and move to Chapter 5, which I will announce the title of when we get to that Saturday, so it'll be awesome. On the subscription front, don't forget to support the Patreon, ! Arvtreon, trying to get that into triple digits. Cool stuff for you and for the channel, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, like all of you who were kind enough to subscribe today, so please do that. ! Arv Shop, ! Arvtreon, and subbing to the channel. On the publishing front, ! Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library is my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And ! Greyshade, which is my Greyshade IP, Greyshade, Renegade, Heretic, which are available right now. So is the audiobook of Greyshade from our very own Trent Sparks. You can find those there too. And you can also check out you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade. I'm super excited about this. Speaking of Alligator Alley, the Rising Tides, Brandon O'Brien is in the final, basically a home stretch of that. The last stuff is going to be going off to the folks at Alligator Alley in the next week to 10 days at most. Actually, week, I should say, in the next week. And then that's going to be fully in edits, which is great because it looks like that means we are on track for a summer release for Greyshade, the tabletop role-playing game, which is going to be amazing. We will not want to miss that. So definitely pre-order that now, because as Prince Justin always says, pre-orders are love, pre-orders are life. You should do those now. And finally, as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point help now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message we will do so for others in that situation in the future. One quick note on scheduling. Later on today, I will be over on GOGCon with Pen and Pixels in what will either be the last or the next to last session of Songs of Conquest, because we're just about done with that game. I have really loved that game, so we're just about done there. And then on Thursday night, we have the conclusion of Beyond Shadowgate, which has been amazing. After Beyond Shadowgate, we are going to be spending some time with Caves of Kood, so you'll definitely want to check that out. And then, as I say, Saturday, Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks is coming at you. So it's going to be good times. I am excited for that. Yeah, I hope that you folks will be excited for that as well. I just wanted to double check on the Patreon Fuel Chat Chosen Game of the Month nominations. Those are happening, not there. Those are not happening today. Those are happening next time. Those are happening, no? Why do I not have any of that listed? Oh, I know why, because I never put it there. Well, that would explain that. I was like, why do I not have the nominations here when I just didn't have it? It's because I forgot to put it. But that's not happening today, so you fear not. We don't have to worry about that for today anyway. But it is going to be happening next week that we're going to be doing nominations. That is right here. Nominations for, there we go. That way I have not forgotten something to do something, which is kind of important. Nominations for the final vote. So the Patreon Fuel, that'll be next Tuesday. And then our next Beowulf session, which will be after this one, for the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month. Okay, there we go. Now we're all in order. Now we're all good to go. Okay, great. Awesome. So that'll be there too. Wonderful. All right, I'm excited. More Patreon Fueled Chat Shows Game of the Month stuff. Also, Community D&D is going to be happening as well this coming Wednesday. So you will definitely want to make sure that you are on the lookout for that too. So we got a lot going on the channel. It's very exciting. Can't wait for all of it. And we'll talk about that later on. So yeah, yes, it is. Nom's next Tuesday final vote. Yep, that's right. So all right. With that said, I am going to, there we go. I'm going to unmute myself so Tari knows we're ready to go, and then I'm going to unmute her. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head over to reveal that TariToons is here, and I have accidentally placed her too far to the left of the screen. That is definitely not what you want. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Dragon Spear. Merry Christmas several weeks afterwards, but it's never too late to wish someone a happy Merry Christmas. Okay. Now I've got Tari centered. So there we go. It is Tari ready to go with Beowulf. Hello, Tari.
Hello.
Good to see you. Happy New Year. How's everything in your neck of the woods? In the wonderful country that doesn't have to deal ever with humidity or anything like that, known as the Netherlands.
Moist.
Yes, moist. It's a moist place. How is everything with you, and who are you playing today?
I'm doing good. I'm sorry for past month. I still have a little bit of a cough, but I was pretty sick last month. In hindsight, it actually was probably Corona. But what do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
So it was just really, really, really bad cold. Just kept wandering around, first my ear, then my throat, then my head, then what's it called?
I don't know what other body part it affected next. I don't know.
In the chest. Yeah, it affected my chest, whatever.
Your lungs, whatever.
Yeah, my lungs. Not a good time. Yeah. But I lived.
I'm very glad you lived.
I died, but I got better. Yeah, here I am. Hello.
And I'm glad that you are not sick and that you're back with us. We will have quite a bit. You'll see quite a bit of Tari this year on this channel. And speaking of that, who are you playing?
Mostly my face, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Like that's all I have.
Sometimes my hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all I have feed to right now. Okay. Though I can confirm that Tari is a person with a torso and legs and all that. I have met her.
That.
I have met her completely. So
there's like a whole body attached to this.
There is. She is not just a talking head. So yeah, Hilness, if you want to know if you can do a strength check to see if you could finish up shoveling your driveway, you should just roll in chat. I think it's exclamation point roll space. Oh gosh, D20? No. Is it roll? Darn it. Well, I mean, ArvBot does it, but we don't have ArvBot up and running at the moment. So, No, the bot's not dead. No.
I am not logged in on Twitch.
Wait.
It always locks me out every month.
It was just running. Triffid was just doing it. Oh, yeah. No, the bot's running. Arcanus bot is on. I just don't remember. No, it's there. There it is. I want to make sure. It's running. I just don't know. But ArvBot Plus is not running. So, hey, what's up, Tom? Yeah, so Hilness, I would say here, I'll do this for you very quickly. Okay, we're going to assume Hilness's strength modifier, speaking of someone that I know. We're going to assume you have a strength modifier of 2, Hilness. Mentally, you're much stronger even than that, but you know, we're talking about snow shoveling here. So I'm going to say that we rolled a 14, so that means you have a strength check of 16. That's pretty good. I'd say that you have a pretty good chance of being able to shovel. Now, you would have to make a con saving throw to make sure that there isn't serious problems afterwards. So, you know, but for right now, I think you have the strength level done. So just keep that in mind. That's always available. Yes, so you were playing today. Did you say who you were playing, or did I cut you off because I was too busy talking to Hilness?
Some person or another, I'm sure. No, I have not yet explained who I'm playing.
Okay.
I am playing Genovefa from Xanten, who is a former follower, whose dear childhood friend, Runzild, has perished in the waves as she tried to save the people of whatever the name of that island was.
Yes,
Does the island actually have a name?
No, just the Hermit Sanctuary.
Oh yeah,
that island, yeah.
Trying to find her footing. I have some very big shoes to fill, both metaphorically and literally.
Yes.
Considering that Runzild was probably a full head taller than her. Just a young adventurer trying to find her way in the world and trying to do what good she can.
Yes.
Currently trying to save a whole ass town from a murderous overlord, but
that's right.
Undead and stuff.
And in fact, speaking of that, let's talk about that recap, because in our last session, we had in horror at Herrogate, Genovefa has come here in the first place because a trade from Herrogate has largely ceased, and she was asked by the lord and also a merchant, sort of rich, significant merchant of her home area, to sort of check it out. Also because a ship had come back from Herrogate, largely destroyed, with people, couple of survivors basically talking about the restless dead and about all these other terrible things. And so Genovefa, as a hero, because that's what she does now, went off with her followers to find out the truth. What she discovered there was the leader of the town, Thorfinn, who you see there in the middle of your screen with the braided beard. Thorfinn was allegedly trying to deal with several things, including the loss of his son Arn, who was kind of a celebrity around those parts, a hero who had allegedly defeated a troll over at the Isle of Holm, and had also sort of inspired the people. But what Genovefa has found out through a series of investigations, which involved going going over to Holm, looking at where the troll was supposedly defeated, finding out what actually defeated the troll, joining up with Hilda the Spear, who you can see right next to Genevieve's token right there, who is, how you say, does not graced with a sense of humor. I think it's fair to say Hilda is not really in the telling jokes vein of things. And what we discovered is that Hilda apparently had feelings for Arn, which were reciprocated. Also, that Arn was not apparently what people said that he was. He did not, in fact. And by the way, this is all spoilers, but hopefully if you have not already done so, please go watch all of the other Beowulf videos. We'll wait. Okay. So now that you're back, but
spoilers for all previous episodes.
For all previous episodes. But what we've discovered is that Arn, in fact, other people killed the troll. The other two warriors of the village killed the troll and were killed themselves. And Arn, with the help of the Scope, basically the bard, Scop, I should say, the bard over at home, basically conspired to make it seem as if he was responsible for having done this heroic deed. He came down to try to stop a bandit invasion that would have destroyed this isolated monastery. He did not do so because he wasn't really a hero, and so the monastery was in fact destroyed. Basically, there's only 2 survivors to it that are now left. And finally, as we learned in the last session, there was this encounter that Arn had with his father, because Arn had notified his father about all this, and his father had basically said, well, you need to keep it quiet because this is really helpful to keep the people inspired, and subtext, keep me, Thorfinn, the father, in power. Arn finally said that he could no longer live a lie, and as we found out in our last session, Thorfinn killed him. He basically kicked him, then stabbed him, and essentially killed his own son in a fit of anger and rage to keep him from speaking. And now that there is a vengeful drake continually attacking the town, Genevieve and the rest have put 2 and 2 together and have thought to themselves, I wonder why there might be suddenly a mysterious undead creature that seemed to show up at the same time that there was the disappearance and eventual death of Arn. Why would that have happened? Now they've put 2 and 2 together. So Genevieve went to the village of Herrogate, accused Thorfinn. Thorfinn used her ability to persuade and all the evidence that she had gathered to basically call Thorfinn out. Thorfinn, not really having a leg to stand on, eventually decided to retreat to the old standard of, I challenge you to single combat. And the village has agreed to this. Genevieve not so wild about this idea. And yet the village basically, which is now all surrounding them, all the people who live in the village, has basically said that they demand single combat between Thorfinn and Genevieve. The winner of which, presumably, will be the one that is believed and will be able to convince the town, here's what actually happened, and break the traitorous Thorfinn's hold upon Herrogate. So it is indeed a tragic family affair. Yes, that's right. And so as I hand things back over to Genevieve, I'm going to make sure I have my windswept plains here. Let's see. Do we have... Hold on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be needing inspiration today.
There we got some wind.
Pretty sure.
We got inspirations reset.
Genevieve is a lover, not a fighter.
That's right. Well, we actually, I think it was last time that Prince Justin used it to help you out, and later on that month there was a session where Prince Justin wasn't able to use one. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, it's not your fault. And it was that classic that I always joke about, where the person was like, all right, listen, did Tari really need it in that game? And they were like, yes, Tari really needed the inspiration. So anyway, there is a channel point inspiration.
Game was that,
I think it was, I think it was Expedition. I think it probably was Expedition with the Mysterious Peaks.
And who said that? Just
I don't remember.
Note?
That I do not remember. Somebody was just mad that it was like, mock mad. I will say that in addition to the people you see on the list right there, chat, don't forget that there are still, in addition to those people, all those on that list have the ability to use inspiration. In addition to that, there is one remaining channel point inspiration for this month. One has already been used, but there is one channel point inspiration that if you have 50,000 channel points. I know. Well, because it happened during Eberron.
Oh, did they really need that inspiration?
Exactly. This is the war that I'm here for between my players. Anyway, among my players. But so if someone wants, they can do that. And don't forget, you can always sub at tier 2 or support the Patreon at the $10 level, and you will get an inspiration if you don't already have one to use to help TariToons. But there we go. Yeah, exactly. You only have 793,000 channel points. This is what I'm saying, Dragon. You should be able to do it. But one of them has already been used, but we do have a second one that's available if you have the channel points for it. So I'm going to hand things back over to Genevieve. So the village, as we talked about, is standing around you. Thorfinn has challenged you to single combat. So the question, I guess, Genevieve, is you've tried to convince them sort of out of it, and it's basically you get the sense that that's not going to fly. The people, as I mentioned last time, you did a great job in getting the village to trust the word of a stranger over their leader of many years, So you've done a good job to get them to say, like, sounds good, like, we'll even Steven, like, even combat, but you're not going to get them, it doesn't seem like, to believe you so much that they'll just tell Thorfinn to go stuff it. And so Thorfinn, in case you're curious, he has a long sword. That
Tari
he is using.
Isn't Hilnis. Fefa is, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Just
well,
to be clear here.
I'm just giving you the.
Don't choose the messenger.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tari's not the outside agitator. No. It was Genevieve.
I would never agitate anything.
Certainly not. Genevieve would not. Now, the other thing is that there's also, and I have to look up what this is. There is a long seax, which I think long seax. A lang seax.
We did decide last time that probably the best way to pronounce it in modern English would be sax, like a saxophone.
Sax, okay, it's long sax.
A Saxony, which is like the same family, name family, word family, whatever.
Yes. So, if he has a long sex drawn, he can also...
Long saxophone.
Okay, so basically what this looks like to me is it almost looks vaguely like a, not the katana. What's the shorter version of the, samurai weapons? There's a katana and there's a...
Itachi?
Is that it? It's like this...
Well, that's one form.
Shorter,
like
straight...
Kodachi, Itachi...
yeah.
I'm like digging out my old Kenshin nerderisms here.
Is it a ninjato, Tom? It might be.
Ninjato? That's like specifically a straight sword, I think.
Yes, that's what it is. Thank you. Okay. Yes, it looks a little bit like a ninjato. Yes. And also high imaginary exponent. Yeah, exactly, Triffid. Okay, so he has a longsword and one of these long sacks as well. So the longsword is more traditional, haha. How long is it? So your long sex is as long as mine. All right. So maybe you could just...
You're all adults here.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you could just child's joke him to death.
Yes.
So he stands ready. Now, Mundir, you might remember, already told you that it looked like the righteousness of your position was going to be tested in combat. The thing I want to point out here, Genevieve, is if you can think of any boosts your followers can give you beforehand, like to pump you up or whatever, that's fine, but your followers cannot join you for this combat. This is single combat, yeah.
I don't think they have any abilities like that. Let's see.
I don't think so either, but I wanted to make sure. Long sex, yeah.
What do Ravenmind and Seer do again?
Let me check that out. Seer, I think, is... which one's that from? Is that from...
Igmod.
It's from Ingbot, yeah. I should have realized. Let's see.
The Seer.
let me see her. Let me see her.
Like kind of her thing that she is a seer, a wise woman.
I see her. I see what she did there. Her. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you can activate the follower, and then spend that follower to substitute that roll for any D20 roll made by the player. Okay, I'll come back to that. I think there is a way that we can handle that. So that's
took up
one.
my own abilities again too, maybe.
And then Ravenmind advantage. Right? That's right. Advantage on intelligence checks and saving throws. Yeah, that's not. I mean, I suppose it's possible that he may attack you by like, all right, quick, solve this Wordle, but I don't think so. I think more likely it's going to be more physical in nature. But that Seer is a good possibility. So I'll tell you, Genevieve, in a minute about how we'll use that. If you want to spend And let me pull up the follower list here. If you would like to spend Rick mods in this way, which certainly seems logical, Rickmod would be able to give you some information about the way in which Thorfinn conducts himself.
Which? Where?
The way in which I see what you do there. The way in which Thorfinn conducts his business as a fighter. Now, she's not a fighter herself, so she's not going to be like, when he feints right, you go left, or something like that. But rather, there's a way that you can distract him or, get him to think about something else so that you get a chance on an attack. The mechanical effect of that is that you can use that D20 to substitute for one of your own D20 rolls. So if you want to activate her, I can let you do that now. And then that D20 is something you can use at any point to substitute for one of your D20 rolls. Now, if she rolls terribly, there's not much I can do about that. So if she rolls a 1, I don't, unless you want to substitute your roll for a 1 for some reason, then you're going to be out of luck. But it gives you another possibility of something, and you can spend that D20 roll whenever you like.
Yeah, I probably do want to do that. Basically, I just get an inspiration, right?
For her, no, I wouldn't say that. Well, I guess, but it's
not literally.
I guess, but in a way, it gives you more information, right? Because you already know what the role is going in, and you just automatically get to use it whenever you want. That one, is one time, so it's more information.
Well, I guess that I'll do that once the combat proper starts.
Okay.
Just looking through my.
Oh wow, Triffid.
Yes.
Triffid suggests you start singing the dead son's favorite song or something. Wow.
Ah, yes. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. And I die.
Look, that guy deserved to die if that was his favorite song. No, I'm just kidding.
Beowulf doesn't have any special rules when it comes to shield breaking or anything, right?
They can, although normally it has to be something that your character, I don't think, would possess that.
So it's a special feat that the character might have that would
less.
allow them to shield break or hit somebody's shield away or something, right?
That is correct.
Because that sounds like a thing that should be in a game like this, just saying, even though it's not in standard D&D.
Well, for example, a bench breaker who's really good at wrestling could push and move and break things. So yeah,
it's a classic trope in these stories like this, right? Where it's and his shield broke.
His shield was broken.
So
yes.
he did something else now.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And there might even be a shield breaker gift, but I'm positive that none of your people have that because we would have talked about it before now.
Wondering if that was in general a thing. Because it's been a while since I was in proper combat with this character. And even then, I was in proper combat with this character once before. Like I said, a lover, not a fighter. Okay. So we are in the evening right now? In spring,
yes, early evening. That's correct.
Is the sun set yet?
Yes.
Yes.
The sun has set.
And I did not give all the pieces to the smith yet to make the weapon that we could use to beat the Revenant, right?
That is true. In fact, you might remember that the bard, or the bard, not the bard, the smith, who I think his name is, was it Bo, I believe? Yes, Bo the blacksmith. That Bo is working on it, but wouldn't be able to make it until, a few hours from now. Can only work so fast.
Okay.
So.
Rigmod isn't here yet, is she?
Oh,
because
that's true.
When we
Rigmod's still
here,
hobbling along. That's right.
Yeah, because we left, I think, Guy and Rigmod we left behind.
Because you needed to get here in time. Yeah.
Or did we leave even Galib and Rigmod to catch up with us?
I
think it was Guy,
I think it was Guy. I think you had both of them going along. That's right.
So Rigmod can't give me any advice right now.
Yeah, it's true.
In that case, since the sun is already set, I assume like this place is too small to have like a proper like plaza or anything, right?
You're as close to what counts for that in this village
square. A bit
square.
of an opening in front of the
Right.
biggest house, probably.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so Genovefa takes a deep breath and is like, right, okay, duel. And she waves Ibn Mundir over.
Okay.
To hand him the X shard that had like all the stuff written on it, right?
That like this, which I have just put up on Twitch. Yes, indeed.
And would tell him to go bring that to Bo and then hurry back.
Okay.
And she would also like hand her like bag and everything to I guess Ibn Ghalib.
Okay.
And just, basically get like battle ready, take her cloak off and all that jazz,
And
get her shield on, put her helmet right, stuff like that.
While you're doing that, the Hilda comes over, and is accompanied along the way, increasing the size of the follower window so people can see it for a second, but is also accompanied by Ghalib. And Ghalib says, as they get over there, Hilda has been saying, and I agree, that this does not need to be your fight. We both know that combat is not your specialty. And these people, you've done a great deal for them already. You should not need to fight to prove the righteousness of your position. And Mundir, of course, it was Mundir who had said this, but not Ghalib, who had just been sort of like watching silently. And Hilda says, he's treacherous. I don't know if you can really... Well, can you take him? And he's like walking around, pounding his shield.
Up and down. Like, how much of a threat does he look like?
He looks kind of... he's not this
he's also old, right?
Not ancient, no. I mean, middle-aged.
Oh, please, everybody past 40 is past that.
That's true in this world. I mean, that's true actually. Yeah, that's true.
No, that was a stupid joke.
No, I blew past the joke, and it's just like, no. What do you mean? That never happens anyway. So yes, I mean, he does not look like this massive. He's not a brute of a man where you're like, oh my god. This is no troll, right? But
from a certain standpoint,
that's fair. that's true. But at least not a physical troll. But having said that, he does look, as he sort of like pulls out his sword and he kind of pounds the shield. It occurs to you that he probably at some point became elevated to this position partly based on the fact that he knew how to fight. And according to Hilda, he knows how to wield his sword and his long sacks, except that he's not invulnerable. She does tell you though that he's a coward. If you can get to him, injure him enough, he'll give up. He's not going to fight to the death. Not that one.
As much as I would love to let you take up the spear here, Hilda, I'm not sure that would like help our overall position right now. What's the worst that could happen? And
she just stares at you.
Forces a smile.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fine.
And Ghalib says, we'll be watching. If things look like a disaster, we can try to take you out of there before.
Yeah, please don't take me
worse
out.
Things happen. We can try to take you out and get a new leader. No, we can try to take you out of the fight. There's no reason to sacrifice yourself. And Mundir looks over at Ghalib and just sort of shakes his head slowly, like, well, I mean, there may not be a lot of other options type of nod. Or type of
and those are perfect last words. What are you saying?
Exactly. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, I mean, all I have to do is not die, right? I can do that, probably.
Well, TomTom suggests running around in circles till the opponent collapses from a heart attack, like in Life of Brian.
No, I kite him like Baldur's Gate 1 style. You know, I have one character who's drawn the aggro.
Yes.
Right? And all the other guys shoot at him with arrows.
That's
and
exactly
bullets.
it. Like that bear. When you first fight the bear out of Candlekeep,
Right?
that's what
Cave
you do.
beer.
You
A
run all
beer
over
bear.
that field, man. I knew every corner of that map.
Same.
Yes.
Like the guy who you can tell to jump off the cliff. And then he's so offended that you would suggest that. So
it's like, how dare... Yeah, exactly. All right, so finally they are prepared. Now there is a hush which falls over the assembled crowd. And then stepping forward is Thorfinn, and he takes a couple of steps into the circle and waits. And behind him is one of his advisors, which I believe I've mentioned before, but I will bring it up again. And that is that there is this guy called Frode the Wise, who is a very old man, who's basically his advisor, Thorfinn's advisor, who's been around for a long time. When you first met them, it was him and Hilda who was standing behind him. But in this case, although your followers are also there supporting you, the one who seconds you in this combat is actually Hilda, who steps behind you. And there's some murmuring in the crowd at that about the idea that, wow, Hilda's actually supporting, Genevieve. So, and Hilda sort of whispers to you, whatever you do, don't give in to him. Don't make it seem like he's winning. He'll fall if you push him enough.
Right. So, Genevieve stands there with a shield on one arm. And then she draws Hunsel's sword, which she's carrying on her side.
Very nice. Is there a ringing shting? Like ridiculous, even though that's not what actually happens. I know. I was about to say it doesn't happen, but still.
It's a movie thing.
Dramatic.
The
ringing sword.
And she would take a defensive stance and then start banging her sword rhythmically on the shield, which is something that she saw Runselt do all the time to hype herself up.
Yep. Very nice. And that also...
And her followers would know to join in rhythmically and start stomping.
Yeah, and that's stomping, by the way, so that starts as your followers are doing it. And then you notice that it's been increased in volume, and as you look around, you can see that the crew of your ship has arrived from the boat, and they are all sort of like, hitting the shield. And so that slowly spreads through the crowd, and the crowd begins to do it, and Thorfinn is just sort of glaring at you, and then since we were Tari and I in the green room, we're talking about the to jump out of game for a second, the Duel of the Fates, lightsaber battle. There's that one sequence where Kenobi does the like the feint, and then Qui-Gon attacks. That's more or less Thorfinn does the feint and then sort of ducks in. So let's get some initiative going, and I'm going to fire up some combat music here.
Initiative.
No, wrong music for this.
Oh!
That's better. That sounds... I haven't even seen it yet, and it sounds bad. Oh, okay. Well, that's
That's
about
as bad as it gets, my guy.
Well, listen, in this case, you've only got one person goes and the other person goes anyway, so...
fair, but still,
it could be worse. I guess we know who's going first.
To be had.
You were thrown off by his feint. It was a good feint. You're like, oh? So... Okay. Let's see. I guess I'm going to roll just in case he also rolls a 1. Let's see. Will he roll a 1? What will he roll? Will he roll a 1? No. He actually only rolled a 3. But that's better than a 1. Okay. So right. Let me move that down there. She draws her sword while pulling out a canvas and painting equipment. She's the Bob Ross of drawing swords.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would probably succeed more at that. I did have some very minor sword training, actually.
I believe that
That's been like
completely.
a decade ago. And I also did judo in kindergarten, if that counts.
I knew that because you put it on your social media somewhere that you did judo in
Yeah,
kindergarten.
it's in my Discord, user blurb.
I wouldn't want to mess with a kindergarten judo user. I mean, yeah, lots of happy little swords. Happy little swords over here. Okay. All right. Well, listen, this will be inspiration for you, Tari. Look. See, my cat Ganesh has arrived.
Kitty.
So Ganesh is... Okay. All right. Well, there's no need for that. All right. I'm just going to move away from that sequence.
Couldn't have timed this better.
Good stuff.
My goodness.
Now you're ready. Thanks, Ganesh. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. That's good times. All right. So yeah, that was good. That was good. I don't know whether to say that he's like that's his level of concern. He's like, you're fine. I'm just gonna prove that to you by grooming myself in a very private spot. Okay. I'm glad I've won the internet. That's good. Okay. Right. So Thorfinn is going
the
to
channel
begin
just
first.
now lost its family-friendly rating.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep. Demonetized forever. It's true. It's happened. It finally occurred. Only took 12 years. All right. Let's do this thing. So he is going to come up and he's going to make 2 attacks, not 1, but 2 attacks upon your person. One of them.
I'm my person. That's bad.
Yeah, that's right. He is going to make a sword attack and then the long sex attack. Now the long sex is going to. Well, I think it's going to miss.
So he's dual wielding, yeah.
He's dual wielding, yeah. A 9, I assume, misses with a long sex. However, I think a critical hit is not going to miss.
Oh, that totally misses. There's like an extra rule on like page 576.
Yes, he automatically takes that. Okay.
Don't have to look that up. That's definitely in there.
He critically hits you for 10 points of damage.
Oh, Jesus. This is off to an awful start.
Yeah, crit hit was not great. Okay. But now it is your turn.
I'm wearing a helmet as by 2nd edition rules, so I can't get critted.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. I'm glad that I just found out
that actually used to be a rule.
No, I know. But I was like, since when did we start playing 2nd edition in Beowulf?
We were always playing 2nd edition.
We've always been 2E. Okay. Now, in the spirit of what you just saw from my cat, I imagine that you know where to attack just to do the most possible damage. So
yeah, Genoveva sits down and starts grooming herself. I
was actually thinking of like vulnerable spots on Thorfinn, but yes, I suppose you can go either way.
Butt? You want me to step him in the butt?
I just listen. I don't know. I'm not the fighter. So
she's neither.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's about time for her to figure out what she's going to do. Okay, so now the time has come. What do you want to do? It is your turn. The village, by the way, kind of goes, oh, when they see him strike. It strikes your side.
I don't have any special attacks, do I?
Hit him in the femoral artery. Yeah.
Ooh, I can.
And don't forget, you can activate. Oh no, you can't because she's not there. Never mind.
No, but
you
I can
cannot.
activate something
you
else.
cannot activate Rickmon.
But I don't know how often I can use.
What's that?
Mighty Metal. Also, when you reach 2nd level, you can spend a bonus action inspiration and 1 or more hit die to grant yourself temporary hit points. You receive hit points equal to your level in this class plus the total rolled on the hit dice. You do not add your constitution modifier.
Seems like a good time to use that.
Okay, so I spend a bonus action and an inspiration, correct?
And
a hit die.
That is correct. A bonus action, inspiration, and 1 or more hit dice. Now, actually, you don't have an inspiration. Well, okay, so let's talk this through.
But I could get one.
Right. I was just going to say, you could get that, but you may. I don't know if you want to get it and save it for the combat, or chat if you just need to be ready to be throwing a bunch of inspirations again, Avifa. That is possible that we're going to need more than one. So, yes, you can. You would need to get inspiration.
One more. It doesn't apply right now because I have a shield. But, yeah, I guess should, save that maybe for later. Oh, God. I don't remember. Do I also have 2 attacks or just 1?
I think you have just 1, unless I'm...
I just have 1 at level 2, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so this guy is also higher level than me. Great.
Yep.
Awesome.
But remember,
Fantastic.
apparently, if Hilda's right, you don't need to kill him all the way. You just need to hurt him badly.
Before he hurts me too bad.
That's
it. Right. Okay. Yeah. I just try and hit him.
Okay. Are you?
With
Okay.
me sword.
All right. With your sword. Well, the 3 is
Does not hit.
is not going to hit. I'm afraid. Yes, that just bounces off his shield like thunk. Yeah, well, fortunately that attack went in. The 2 would not have helped any better, Triffid. So in that case, it would not have worked. But that inspiration may be needed coming up soon. So we'll see. All right. He comes in here. But maybe you got a little overconfident here because we're talking a 10 and a 10, and I don't think either one of those is going to hit, is it?
Nope.
All right. So
straight off the shield.
You still have a shot. Okay, so Triffid, now you have an inspiration. Now, before you attack again, Genevieve, do you wish to call for this inspiration from
Yeah.
people?
Block skip.
All right, it sounds like Triffid has given an inspiration. She has inspired Tari using up the last of the channel put inspirations for the month.
Thank you.
All right, so now make it a good one.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
using
Triffid.
that inspiration and hit real hard.
You're going to hit real
Today
powerful.
is a good day to do what has to be done by me and defeat the enemies.
Exactly. Defeat them, not defeat them.
Oh,
Hey! All right, yes. Will absolutely hit.
Fantastic. That's a 6 slashing.
6, very nice. Okay. He staggers back and a roar goes up from your crew and your followers. And he looks a little surprised, actually. Like, after the first set of attacks, he didn't expect that was going to happen. So he kind of like, but he, his eyes narrow and he's just like, and he comes in again to attempt to attack you. Let's see.
Wait, I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you have some other thing that I didn't know?
Like melee attack rolls go off strength, right?
Yes.
Am I?
Your bow attack, right, but the melee attack would, yes, and that's what you're using. I know she's more a bow person, but...
Just like... Was this calculated right?
Well, what's your strength bonus?
I have -1 on strength.
Sorry.
Um...
Well, but you have your proficiency, though, which would be 2, so that would lead it to 1.
But it says 20 plus -1? Plus 2?
That's right, yeah, d20 plus 1. That's what I see here is 1, so it looks like you rolled...
So it is calculating. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hovering over it. It's 20 minus 1 plus 2 is proficiency. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Okay. 15 minus 1 plus 2 equals 16, or in this case, you got advantage. So yeah, you're all good.
Okay, good.
All right, now the first of his attacks is an 8, and that's also going to miss. But his second one is a 21, not natural crit. So that unfortunately is going to hit.
Much sickled. That hits, yeah.
Okay.
How much?
That is going to do, just a glancing blow. Only 3 points of damage that time.
Okay.
Now,
just but a flesh wound.
Don't forget about the inspiration if you want to try to do that whole mighty metal thing, but also maybe you just want to keep hitting this guy a lot.
I just used mine.
Okay. Right, I know. I'm saying, like, as you go forward, think about that.
Yeah, I'm keeping that in mind.
Okay.
But part of me is hopeful that he can't hit me for, like, 12 hit points in one go.
Yeah, probably not likely. Well, you know one bit of that, right? He crit you the first time and he did 10 points, right? So that gives you a sense of what we're dealing with. So, all right, it is your turn, though. A glancing blow.
Can I even do anything with my bonus action?
You circle each other warily.
I don't have any abilities for that, do I? I don't think. Okay. Right, another attack. Does a 15 hit?
15 will hit.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fudge, yeah. Also just 3.
Okay.
How hurt does he look?
He's starting to look, I mean, he doesn't look like close to death or anything, but he's starting to look very nervous.
Okay,
So.
I I want to try and intimidate him, if I may. I assume I need an action for that action.
That is
right?
correct. So you would need to use up, so keep that in mind. I'll let you do it. Since you're standing in one place, basically, you're not moving around, I will let you try and intimidate in this case. Also, the circumstances. You're surrounded by a village and a bunch of people screaming their heads off. It seems reasonable to intimidate, especially what you heard from Hilda. So, yes, I will allow you to intimidate because in this case, you're not really moving other than just a circle around him. So, yes, if you want to intimidate, I'll let you do it this turn. You got an 8th done? Nice, Illness. We're in the middle of a combat. Genevieve got hit for a lot, then hit him a couple times, but got hit again by a glancing blow. Very close fight, I'd say.
No, you know what? I'm saving that for next round. I have a better idea.
Okay.
So my turn is over.
All right, sounds good. So he is going to try to do his attacks again. He is not rolling well. 9 and 6. So far so good. All right. So you have here's your opening if you want to take it there, Genevieve.
Okay. So I would like to ask for another inspiration, if you'll have me, to get HP back.
Will anyone give Genevieve the inspiration needed to gain hit points back? Triffid has used her
well, technically
channel
I gain
point. Or temporary,
temporary hit points. Not
yeah,
get
but
hit points
still.
back.
I like that. That's even more
useful.
like, on adrenaline.
Like those expire when used up or at a long rest, right? Or do they expire at a short rest?
I would need to double check that again on Mighty Metal. I don't know.
Thanks,
Thank you. Oh, well, okay. So Hilness, I'll allow. This is what I'm going to do. Hilness is inspiring Genevieve, so I'll allow that inspiration to be used because you said you wanted to use it on Mighty Metal. Prince Justin, you can use that inspiration for combat because you're using Hilness's immediately, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fine.
But I'm not attacking this round. I'm doing something else.
That's fine. Either way, you have an inspiration in the bank. Thank you, Prince Justin. Thank you, Hilness, both. Okay, she's going to use Hilness's first. You got to roll that hit die to see how many hit points you get temporary.
Right. So I'm just imagining this. That Fifar has a look around at all the faces around her, who are all like, out for blood.
That's right. Some calling for Thorfinn, some calling for you.
And as she meets everybody's gaze, she straightens her back, stands back up, and just spits out some blood from when she was hit earlier.
Okay.
Which is when she gets her hit points back. So 1 hit die.
Temporary hit points are just blood leaving the body. That's our new...
Wait, do I roll for the hit die? What did it say?
Oh, it said you're going to roll, so you're equal to your level in this class, so you're level 2, plus the total reached on the hit dice. So your hit dice probably, you need to look at it. It's either 1d8 or 1d10.
Oh, d4, is it?
No, it's more than that. No, your hit dice are not 4. What's the die that you roll for your hit points?
Why does it say d4?
It shouldn't be. I'm pretty sure that.
Well, it does say though. So.
Where does it say that?
On my character sheet.
It says D4.
It says D4, but that can't be right.
No.
I don't have the.
I don't believe that's right. I'm going to look it up.
Book right now at hand.
Because a hit die is based on the hit point total that you use. Let's see.
Well, I have 2 hit die, but it's a D4, 2d4. That's what it says right now. But.
No, that's wrong.
And her subclass is former follower.
1d8. Your hit die is 1d8, not 1d4.
Why does it say 1d4?
No idea.
I don't know. Maybe I misclicked at some point. That could be.
Yeah, definitely 1d8. Plus
so 2.
So you roll just a 1d8 and then plus 2. Yep. Whoa! Let's go!
12! Let's fucking go.
Nice.
Oh,
no,
it
10.
automatically does plus 2 because
that's right.
My con modifier also happens to be plus 2, so it just evens itself.
That's good though. You spit out blood and just like, all right.
Like, stands up straight.
Yep.
And that was my bonus action, right? So.
That's correct. I think that's what that is. Yes.
First of all, I'm back at 20. Oh no, wait. I have plus 10 temporary.
That's right. So you have 12 out of 25 normal and 10 temp, and now you have an inspiration remaining from Prince Justin, just so you know.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks, Illness.
I'm just gonna mark that down for now. So now I'm gonna use my action.
Okay.
To intimidate him. And what I do is basically use this display of her just standing back up straight after looking around and spitting out that blood, and then she goes, I can just let you live, right?
I thought you were going to say, I can do this all day. And then you got a shield, it all fits. Okay. So it might have been 1d4.
We shot him in the leg. His shield is the size of a dinner plate.
Exactly. Okay. So, all right. So you said, I could just let you live. Do you? Okay. How do you move when you do this? I know you just stand up. Do you stand up and stare at him? Do you
Yes. Like
toss your
basically,
shield to the ground? Like, what's the dramatic, I know the spitting blood. That was good, but beyond that.
yeah, no, basically she just changes her entire posture, which like I like to imagine like gives her like this whole different way of expressing it, because she is like such a demure person. Usually it's like basically she has like this whole different vibe to her right now. Basically she's channeling her inner Wunzel.
I was going to ask about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will have you make a persuasion check. Intimidate, rather. Sorry. Intimidate check, which is charisma based. I can't give you advantage unless you want to use the inspiration from Prince Justin, and you can get advantage on that.
I was hoping I would get a free free advantage for
not
that.
Free.
No, okay.
But.
Yeah, I'll take the inspiration.
Okay. So Prince Justin has inspired you. You have it. Dominant posture, and you have hurt him, which is why I'm allowing this intimidate check. So let's see what happens. Go ahead and intimidate. Let's see what he does.
Intimidation. Oh god. It's a 10.
Well, it's an opposed roll. Let's see what he gets. I roll the d20, and I get. Sorry. He steps back and he says, "I'd be more worried about your life if I were you." And
well, your head it is then, and then she like goes back into like a attacking position, like shield up, sword high.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Every time he's hit you, he hit you once badly, and the other times he's hit you. The one other time he hit you was glancing blow.
Me.
Other than that, he just rolled 2 12s.
Nope.
12 and 12. That's not good enough. All right. Here we go. Now, you are inspiration-less at the moment.
That's fine. I just hit at the...
Clang! He knocks away the sword.
How do I put digital dice in a dice jail? Just asking for a friend.
It's a digital jail, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isolate the code.
Then we have a 19 and a 13.
The 19 hits.
Okay. That is going to be 8 points of damage, so you have 2 temp left.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're up, Genevieve. That was a really
Another
clutch mighty
8.
metal.
Well, attempted hit. Sharing 14.
14 will hit.
Yes.
Let's make the damage good.
2. She's really not good at fighting. Like, she has garbage stats.
I haven't
pointing this out. No bonuses on anything.
Oh, there's the 2. Okay, he is looking very concerned now. But he comes in and will make his... Critically misses with the long sacks, but not so lucky on the sword. That's a 17. Which I believe hits. Okay. That is another 7 points of damage.
Reaches a gap in the armor.
Yep.
Well, a gap. She's wearing mail.
7 points of damage.
Mail or no mail.
So that uses up your temp and then 5 points off of your normal. So you have 7 hit points left, I believe.
Oy, that's not good.
All right, there he is. He's there in front of you.
I could go down this round.
You could. Are you going to
But
call
I can't
for...
ask for a fucking fourth inspiration. Your other players will kill me.
Well,
should I die or should my character
this
die?
is what I'm
Choose
saying.
my character.
Listen. The other, chat knows that if need be, they may just have to, encourage other people to subscribe or get high things so they can get their own inspiration.
How long has this fight been going?
In real time, a couple of minutes, maybe a minute, minute and a half.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of circling and shit. Just
Right, that's why I'm assuming longer than the normal combat, but you figure 6-second rounds, right? So normally this would have been less than 30 seconds because of all the circling. More than that. You hoping for Rickmod to show up?
Throwing something is an action, right? Not a bonus action.
Depends on what you're doing with it, but usually, yeah.
I want to throw my shield at him, but that would be an action, right?
Yes, because that would effectively be an attack.
What if I do it not to give him damage?
Well...
But just to maybe give him... Like basically to startle him.
But with the effect of
option,
what?
right?
Giving him disadvantage on an attack against
Or
you?
me advantage on my next attack.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, that's an action.
Okay.
Because you're not a warrior that has as a bonus like distract or taunt or something like that.
Well, I do that anyway, even if it doesn't do anything in mechanical terms.
Okay,
Except
you sure you want to give up your
freeing
shield?
my second hand up.
Oh, all right. Okay, I was going to say.
Because I have fighting style, desperate dueling. When you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon.
You say no other melee weapons?
No other weapons.
So why weren't you doing that already?
Wait, I get that with the shield?
Yeah.
Does the shield not count as a weapon?
Shield's not... No, it's not a melee weapon. Unless you're using it to do shield damage that I didn't know about.
I'm too heraldry brain. For me, it's all arms.
Yeah, no. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered so
like
far.
Getting +2 for every hit already. God damn it.
Yeah, but not damage. It would have been 2 hit, and you haven't had you weren't going to hit with a 3.
No, it was 2 damage.
Oh, 2 damage.
+2 damage. Bonus damage.
Interesting. Well, then, yes. How many times have you hit?
2 times or 3 times?
I think 3 times. So
Wait,
you would have gotten...
I can just check the chat.
Yeah, that's right, actually.
Let's
Let me see.
I made 1 hit, 3 hits, yeah.
Okay.
So +6 damage.
So +6 damage. Oh, well then... Then this is a little different.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, that would have happened after this last attack, though. So that's good to know. So I like the idea that you maybe throw the shield at him anyway. So he's sort of like... So as you hit him with
You said Captain America.
this dueling thing, you should told me you had that dueling thing before. I didn't
Well,
know.
I just misread what it does because I'm a bit dumb, Gregory. You know that?
No, you're not. So he kind of like as you hit him, he sort of staggers back, and then and someone get her a shield, and she falls. That's you. He falls to one knee.
Forced femtum with that throw.
That's right. He falls to one knee, and he says, "Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of it. But I didn't mean for any of this to happen." And like the village is like, like just silence. Everyone looking at him and at you, and he says, I didn't realize, but you need to understand that the people of the village, they needed something to believe in. They needed someone to believe in. It wasn't. I didn't mean for it to happen. If I could take back that moment, my own son, I didn't mean to kill him. Now,
but you did kill him, did you?
Yes. Now, when he says yes, you hear from the direction of the cemetery, which you may remember is not far outside of town, you hear this horrifying, unearthly howl. And the villagers are all like, they're all like staring at each other. And there's like some people, there's a couple of shrieks. And Ibn Mundir comes to you quickly and says, "Well fought, but you heard that for yourself. Something is coming, Genevieve." The people, by the way, are very disturbed, but a lot of them also are spitting on Thorfinn, like as they pass him. And you brought this upon us! And you see several go over, demanding that he be banished. And then the cry echoes again, and they all run basically to the longhouse. And they sort of wave at you and your followers to come along to the longhouse.
Fever, does like the swing with her sword to like get the blood off, and puts it back in the sheath. Puts her shield on her back. Well, we'll decide with you what happens tomorrow, if you live the night. And then she waves over Ibn Galib and Hilda. He doesn't need his armor anymore, and like waves him to basically help her with getting his armor off.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's like a tree or a pole or a well or something here.
Pole for
structure.
sure. Yes,
A
yes.
pole. Okay, cool. Yeah, she would get out a rope and basically have the others help her with tying Thorfinn to the pole.
And so Thorfinn is sort of like half defeated, half weeping for mercy as you timed the pole, and the people, meanwhile, that are watching from the longhouse with the door open, a couple of them are jeering at him, and one of them says, "You created this monster. You can suffer its wrath. That's right. Let the hero of Herrogate decide. A real hero this time, traitor." And they, again, a couple of them like try to do some long-range spitting from the door of the longhouse. So Thorfinn...
People drink a lot, huh? Very hydrated here.
Yeah, they are very much. Thorfinn is, continuing to sort of semi-beg you for mercy, although he's also looks very much like a beaten man.
I offered to him that earlier. He declined. He kept going. He sealed his fucking fate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and once we tied him down, like making double sure that the knots are tight and everything, that he can't get loose.
Okay.
She would like take a step back and like look at Hilda. Any last words for him?
And Hilda sort of glares at him, and then she says, "You had a responsibility. You had a responsibility to protect your people. Instead, you killed the only thing that ever cared about you for real. Remember that. You don't deserve the death this thing's going to give you." And Thorfinn's just like, "Please, please, please." And Hilda sort of like growls and says, "Be easier if I just speared the bastard now." And kind of looks at you.
Well, the main thing here that we are trying to do is get rid of the Revenant. And this might be one way to do it. So, if he's really here to have revenge on his father.
And she says, and so she nods. And by this point, Rickmod and Guy have arrived, sort of hobbling over the hill. Well, Guy's not, Rickmod is. And when they approach, and Guy at one point sort of like looks and his eyes widen, and then Rickmod sort of shoos him along, and he sort of runs the rest of the way up to you and sort of looks up at Thorfinn, kind of tied and dangling from the pole, and then looks at you and like in this kind of, what?
Well, we didn't hoist him from the pole. He's just tied to it. He's on ground level.
Right.
He's just standing.
And it sort of looks at you as if to be like, what is what, kind of looks...
Long story. We'll tell you inside, and that's probably when Rickmod and Guy would like notice all the blood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that Genofefa looks very ready to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And we should probably go inside and see what happens here.
Okay, so Guy kind of gives another look and nods. Now, I assume you're bringing your crew into the longhouse as well?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So basically everybody except Thorfinn is going to be...
Bo. Well, where's Bo? Is he also here, or did he stay at his...
He stayed at his work. Do you want to send someone? You hear the howl again closer.
Yes, actually, she would send Ibn Galib to him to, like, assist him.
Okay. Assist him in the construction at the smith? Okay. At the smithy. All right. So Galib goes to do that. Meanwhile, Mundir and Rickmod and Guy and the rest of your ship crew and the rest of the villagers pile into the longhouse. It is just big enough, but it's pretty close quarters. Like, even for a small village, this isn't like an arena that you're packing into. So, so now, question, are you, like, closing and barring the door, or are you looking through, like, the crack in the door? Like, there aren't really windows out of this thing, so do you want to leave the door open enough to see, or what do you want to do?
I guess We're leaving it like a crack enough open to see, but we are putting everything in like an arm's reach that we would need to quickly bar the door if need be.
Okay. Okay, so...
And
yep.
when we go inside, Genofefa would look at Hilda and be like, maybe it's best for you to stay out of sight for now. Like, he might get even more angry if he sees you.
And Hilda looks at you, and for the first time since you've known her, shouldn't say the first time, the second time since you've known her, her expression softens a little bit, and she says, "He shouldn't be angry at me. At least,
I know.
not the way he is at others."
I know. This is all really unpredictable right now. And I'd rather, like, assuming that we even need to. Like, maybe after this he will be gone. But should he come back tomorrow night, I'd rather have you confront him when we get the weapon. After we get the weapon.
And Rickmod, who's behind you in the longhouse, says, "You realize that this thing won't be destroyed simply when it gets its vengeance. Perhaps it goes away, but it is not defeated. If you want that, its head must be cut off and buried with its body. So the old tales say, but perhaps you'd prefer that it not be destroyed. There are some who still have affection for it." She kind of chuckles a bit, and Hilda kind of bristles and kind of gives you the crazy old woman, type of look.
Well, either way, the main thing that we're trying to do here is to protect the people of this town, and if we can at least for now get him to stop attacking innocent people, that will be enough for me for now, and everything else we can see after.
And so she, Hilda sort of quiets down, and Rickmod nods. And so when you come into town, and again, when you go into the longhouse and you wait, it only is a few minutes longer before you hear first, before seeing, this terrible sound of, it sounds like a...
Oh, 1 second.
Yes.
Would have put a torch, like, close to the pole, just so that we have a little bit of light, and so that the Revenant would know where to go.
Okay. We wanted to put up some signs, "This way to your vengeance." Like,
basically.
Okay. So, yeah, you hear this, and then this dragging sound of metal on stone and dirt. And you also hear Thorfinn, like whimpering. And I have a picture here that I am going to show in just a moment, as soon as it gets ready on Twitch. Okay. Okay, no, I don't want to save it there. I want to save it in Beowulf. That's where all of this is. And
I can do it. I believe in you.
Thank you. Glad to know that someone... Okay. Right. Okay. There we go. All right, I'm going to put this on Twitch. All right, everybody. So, as you're looking, you finally see, coming into the torchlight view, accompanied by the, horror of the horrified whimpering of Thorfinn.
You mean the horror at Herrogate?
The Herrogate horrible sound.
No, that's like the name of the adventure, right?
The horror gate sound. Yeah, no, I know. I was trying to. You made a good reference back to it. That's good.
Thank you.
Branding. Okay. And then I went over here and I missed the adventures thing. Show me the adventure that I just lost. Why is this not? Oh. There it is. Okay. And you see this come into view. This creature is has this tattered, rotted male armor hanging from its decaying limbs, and it moves stiffly, dragging what clearly seems to be, even in the torchlight, a bloody sword along the ground. There's a rusted helm that covers its face, revealing cadaverous lips and chin. And the monster bares its blackened teeth with a growl, and then, seeing Thorfinn, lets out another sound, this horrible, ragged shout. And Thorfinn just sort of screams in horror and terror. And you can see here, basically at this point, you can see that the creature is, if it attacked in silence before, that moment is now gone. It is now loudly proclaiming its presence. And Thorfinn, who's screaming for help from anybody, you watch as the creature, obviously the drake, comes up to him and stares at him. And Thorfinn says, "No, no, please, my son, my son!" And then the creature draws back its sword and, with one stroke, opens this massive wound across Thorfinn's chest and starts gurgling blood. And then the drake just stabs him over and over and over and over and over again, letting out shrieks. And Thorfinn's cries soon die out into just silence and the silence of death. And there isn't much, probably, most of the people watching turn away, and there isn't much left of Thorfinn by the time the creature's done. And then it stares around, looks around balefully, and it kind of sniffs the air. And then it looks over towards the longhouse, and then in the distance, you hear... I think I have a sound effect for this. If I can get my... You hear the sound of something metal on metal.
Yeah.
And the creature turns around and starts dragging his way towards Bo's, the blacksmith's smithy.
Right. In that moment, Genofefa would swing the door open.
Okay.
Not holding any weapons right now. Takes off her helmet. Tosses it back to one of her followers.
Okay.
And steps outside. And with a full voice, she proclaims, "Arn, son of Thorfinn, horror of Herrogate, halt! You have had your revenge. Leave this town."
And the creature sort of... Now, I want chat to imagine... this is from Genevieve's perspective, right? So you see the back of the helm and the back of this creature, and it stops, and then turns around, and you can hear the as it's dragging its sword in the dirt. And as it now turns upon you, you can see, of course, its sword is covered in blood now, just, blood dripping, also blood dripping down the front of its armor. Its legs and knees and arms are covered in it. As he's, looks past the ruined body of his former father towards you. And you can see his baleful green eyes glaring at you. And behind you, you hear a... And it's Hilda, who has this sort of almost little cry. And then the creature starts dragging itself towards you. Now,
is he like, when he was like dragging his way to Thorfinn, is this like the same manner he's dragging himself in? Is there like any change of expression at all?
I would say not. I would say not. It's not exactly the same. But it's very hard to, like, he's not going, all right, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, the creature is dragging its weapon towards you. I don't know that you'd be able to tell Genevieve that he's like, all right, I've come to listen, right? He definitely does not have this. He doesn't repeat the shriek, for example. So he doesn't, shout again. But it's hard to read whether what's happening here is friendly or not. It doesn't look friendly. But, it is a drake.
Genevieve tries to keep her composure. And like I said, no weapons, no helmet. Like, she's still wearing her mail, but basically standing there, like, with her, like, arms stretched out, but, like, showing her hands, basically.
Yep.
That she has no weapons.
It's like,
and the door is, like, wide open now, so she swung it open, so people inside can see what's happening.
Right, and she's standing in front of the house, right? The longhouse.
Yeah, like, basically she stepped outside, like, into view, where he could have, like, properly seen her. Like, she's not standing in the door, is what I mean.
Right. Yeah, a few steps in front or something, basically.
Yeah.
And the people are kind of looking
But she stands there,
out.
waits, holds her ground, and stares back at him while he, like, shambles towards her.
Okay, he's continuing to do that. So I would say that when he gets about, maybe when the creature gets about 30 feet away or something, Hilda steps out next to you. And she says, Arn, it's me. Now the creature stops. It's like sort of swaying, looking at her. And she says, Arn, you remember me? I'm sorry that I let you down. I'm sorry that everyone here let you down. But you can't let that take you over. She's right. You've gotten your revenge. You've done what you should to your father. Now it's time to go away. And the drake sort of sways back and forth. And then and Hilda steps up in front of you. Not blocking, but just like a step forward. And waits. And she has her spear out, but as it comes close, she drops it. And the drake looks at her and then stabs her through the heart. Her body slumps, and he pushes her aside and crawls towards you.
Okay, I'm just imagining. So, was she holding her weapon at this moment?
She dropped her spear in front of her.
Yeah, I was just imagining that, like, while she falls, like, basically lets her spear fall from her hand, and, like, Fifa immediately grabs it.
You could, yeah. I mean, well, you'd have to, like, I mean, I guess you could. You could step up and grab it.
Well, I mean, there's, like, this rule that I always have a spear at hand.
Yes, of course. That is, of course, the case.
She takes up Hilda's spear and is, like, immediately goes on the offense.
Okay. Let's get some initiative rolls, please. Also, you notice that the sound of the pounding metal has stopped.
Yeah.
For what that's worth. Okay. Let's go with a little bit of what we like to call combat again. Okay. Right. So now this one you can actually bring in. This one your followers obviously will come out and deal with stuff there. Okay. Oh, also I should say that you were out of the temporary hit points. Trying to think if you would have had time for a short rest. Probably you wouldn't have an hour. I can't justify that, I don't think. So, okay.
Wait, is a short rest just half an hour?
No, short rest is usually actually a couple of hours, if anything, but definitely not like 15 minutes. Unless there's a special feat that says, Okay, so let's see. Right. Okay. Now, let's see. What do we get for... Let me get an initiative roll from you, please, Genevieve. Initiative, and I also want an insight check from you, too.
That's a 17.
Let's see. 17. Okay. This time, I think you're going to be in better shape for this, because he only rolled a 5.
Yeah, well,
so
I'm
this
also
time
at
better.
7 hit points, so...
Well, listen. Let's take the advantage that we can
natural
get.
one on the inside, so...
So you have no idea. Okay.
Lightly distracted by her friend getting stabbed.
I would say that's true. There was definitely a... I think the thing that I described, there was a pause, which seemed odd from this thing. So I just note that. Okay. Let's see. You are first to act. So this creature stands in front of you, and it is just holding, basically as this rotted mail, this rusty iron helm, and it has a sword attack. So those are the things that you're facing as you see it.
But I go first, right?
You do go first. I think I might have a token for him too.
Let me think.
Do I? I do have a token. All right. Just pull this up here, chat, so we can see it. Also on the map. That's not how big he is, although, you know.
Yeah, I guess I just do a regular spear attack.
Okay. We're going to say that Thorfinn is a dead man.
16.
16 will hit, yep.
Okay, that's 6 points of damage, not 8, because I went two-handed.
So you strike true at the Drake, and as you do, sort of, you know, pierce his skin, he sort of stares at you balefully and pulls out the spear. And like, you know, so you're like holding it, he pulls it out and sort of like throws it away. You don't think you did anything to him at all, Genevieve.
Okay.
You don't think you damaged him in the least.
Wait, was it his turn then?
This was your... No, he was just doing that in reaction to your attack. So.
Okay, in that case, Genofifa... Oh. Wait, spears have reach, right?
Yes.
So he doesn't get an attack of opportunity if I move away.
No, that is correct.
Sweet. Okay, Genofifa would roll out of the way towards a torch and grab that one.
Okay. All right, I can see that. All right, you do so. Grab the torch while trying to avoid the mangled body of Thorfinn that was right near.
And like after she grabbed that, she would like shout back to the house, "Little help here!"
Okay. So a few. What you notice there is none of the villagers move, but your own followers, of course, are out in front. And since you called for them, you can see on the other side of the creature, you see something holding a torch and running towards you from the direction of the docks. Basically south of where you are. You don't know why, but you'll see what happens presumably in a little bit. But
docks
from the dock, well,
and
from the south of the village
all
is what I want to say.
The villagers, besides Bo and Thorfinn, obviously were in the Longhouse.
That's right.
At least
as far as you heard. That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I know who that is then. Yeah, I guess it's my turn.
Well, no, his turn. Because you just went.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's over.
Oh, that's the end of your turn. I see.
Turn.
Yes, I got you. Okay. All right. So.
What I mean, silly.
What he does is, as he looks down at you balefully, I want you to make another insight check for me because he does this weird thing before he does that. It was something else he also did before, but you get another one because he does it again.
Wait, he does this weird... What? I'm not following.
Insight check is what I need.
Oh.
He does this weird thing, which
Yeah,
is...
I personally failed my insight check there.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I didn't describe it well.
Yeah, 5.
Okay. Some weird there's some weird hesitation, and you're not understanding why.
Okay.
But so what happens is he stares at you, and then you can see him kind of lift his arms, and at first you're like, oh, okay, this guy's like doing some kind of flex or something. But you see him grow in size, so that suddenly where he was before maybe, 5'8" or 9, he's now well over 7 feet.
Oh, shoot.
And he kind of glares down at you. You'll be happy to know that was a bonus action. And now is going to attempt to attack you. Let's see.
No? Veto?
Yeah, I know, right?
I refuse.
Let's see. What is he going to do with that? Oh, actually, do I have... This is a good question. Oh, I do. Good time to use my 1 inspiration that I haven't used so far.
Oh, no!
I need you, please, because he does the thing that I just described, and then basically shouts at you, and you can feel the shout rumbling your bones. So powerful is the noise. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Does that count as being surprised in combat?
No.
Okay.
No, it does not. By the way, don't
Frick.
forget, incidentally, you do have inspiration, don't you, in your hero pool? I think you have 3 inspiration in your hero pool. I appreciate that Effect Life's ready to inspire you also. But just be aware.
I do.
Yeah. It seems like a really good time to use this, Genevieve. That's what I got. I just had 1 from the prophecy before the whole adventure started. Also,
Wait,
Effect Life is giving you
can I use
inspiration.
inspiration to give somebody else disadvantage? Is that a thing? That's not a thing, right?
No.
No.
Not unless it has a specific feat that says use inspiration to do XYZ. Or the Mighty Metal thing, although I need to look again and see if that resets or not.
That's a bonus action, so I can only do that on my turn.
Yeah, okay.
So.
But you've also been inspired by Effect Life, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if I had realized that I had like the pool inspiration, but I completely forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, I can't, unfortunately. I can't ex post facto that.
Well, I would like to give Effect Life his inspiration back because now I have 3 inspiration already. So.
All right, I'll give that back.
Yeah. Before like all the other players come and lynch me.
Let's see.
What? Tari used up all the inspiration for the mods. What happened?
Okay, so you're back now, Effect Life. You got your inspiration back.
Oy vey. Okay, but thank you. Yeah, okay. I mean, like.
So you're going to use an inspiration on that wisdom saving throw, right? No, you have to make that wisdom saving throw, remember?
I have a wisdom save.
But you're using one of your inspirations, I assume, on this? Okay.
Correct. Didn't need it. That's an 18.
That is an 18. Okay.
So
for a moment, you feel this terror pass over you, but you manage to shake it off. Prince Justin says, "We do love you, though." That's true. That's true. Okay, so you shake off this thing that he attempted to do. Let's see. So, that's going to be his action. He's not going to attack you. He's trying to do something extra bad, which you managed to resist. Okay. Now, just before the next round starts, you see now the person who's running with their torch. And it is, in fact, Bo the blacksmith. And he is holding in his other hand, he has a torch in one hand. And in his other hand, he is holding something which, some weapon, clearly, the blade of which glitters slightly in the torchlight. And he says, "Hey! Hey!" And he's like shouting, and he throws a stone at the back of the creature's head. The creature's like sort of turns around slightly. And Bo tosses you this weapon. Now, first of all, are you going to grab it? I should ask first.
So this is happening on Bo's turn?
This is correct. At the beginning of the round. Well, yeah, essentially the NPC turn. At the beginning of the next round.
In that case, I would like to think that the axe just lands like blade first in the dirt and like basically sticks out of the ground based on something I want to do.
Okay, sounds good. You see that the somewhat hastily, but still quite
Wait, that
impressively.
doesn't matter. It only counts for melee attacks. Never mind. No, I immediately catch the axe with my offhand.
I actually want a I would like a dexterity check from you, please.
Oh, for fudge sickles. That's 12?
Enough. That's enough. Yeah, that's fine.
I have like no bonuses on anything.
It hits your chest and you die instantly. No. Okay, so you grab it, and what you see, Chad, I'm going to put up the elements here. An axe blade, a crystal, the broken seax, and a wooden handle have been combined into this essentially makeshift but exceedingly well wrought, given the amount of time we're talking about overall, weapon that glows slightly in the torchlight. And the creature just sort of like looks at it. And now I'm going to ask you to make another insight check. This one I'm going to have you do at advantage because you're staring right at him when this happens.
12.
Yeah, that's enough. When you stare at him, you can see that the creature noticeably flinches at the sight of the blade.
Sweet. Can you give me the stats for the X, please?
I can try to do that, yes.
Let's call it Arn's X for now.
Okay. Let's see. So... Right, hang on one second while I do this. Right, forging the weapon, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is going to be a strength-based weapon, but it counts as if you have proficiency in said weapon. So it would be your strength bonus, which I think we did this before, so it's +1 total, right? Basically -1 for your strength, +2 for your proficiency equals +1 total, I believe. So... and
something numbers. I heard +1, +1, blah blah.
Yeah.
What?
So basically, +1 is what it leads to. You have +1 on the attacks on this thing.
Okay.
However,
roll 20 calculates that automatically.
Okay. I will say that now I can't tell you exactly what it does until and unless you use it in combat against the thing.
Okay.
But I will say that when it hits, I'll tell you what the damage and everything is. It looks like basically in fact, when you catch it, Genevieve, you expect that it's going to be something you're going to like. It looks heavy. It's not heavy though. When you grab it, it actually is surprisingly light. And as I say, you can see it glittering in the torchlight.
So it's just strength-based melee weapon that does presumably slashing damage. That's enough. I just needed enough to roll it in game in roll 20. Okay.
That's right. And you go first, so it is your turn.
Right. In that case, since I'm still holding the torch, the first thing I would do is since I'm still out of reach from him, right? Like I did run off a little bit to get the torch.
Yes, although he can close to within melee range of you again.
No, that's fine. It's just like, is he now far away? Okay, in that case, I'm gonna do...
He's like 10 feet away, because you rolled sideways.
I'm going at Weathertop.
Okay. Ah, yes.
With the ring race, and I'm gonna fucking toss that torch right into his face.
Okay. Okay, so that's improvised. Let's call that a dexterity-based thing then. So give me a dexterity bonus. I don't think we can add your proficiency to this. I don't think you're necessarily proficient in throwing torches at people, but...
I'm proficient in improvised weapons.
Oh, all right. Well, then there you go. Then you are. Then
so
you
it's
can...
+2 then, right?
There you go, yes. Is that all you have for your dex bonus? You ought to have more than that. Are you just +1 on dex also?
I don't have a dex bonus. That's just my proficiency bonus.
You have no dex bonus at all?
I have no dex bonus. I told
wow,
you
okay. Yeah, that's right.
Garbage.
I forgot. Okay. All right, +1 it is.
No, it's +2 because proficiency bonus.
Oh, right. Because you have because you don't have the -1. Never mind. +2.
I have -1 in strength.
That's right. This is even
0
better.
in dexterity.
No, this is an improvement. Yeah. Are you using an inspiration to try to hit it or not?
Yeah, I'm using. No, I'm not.
Are you saving it? Okay. All right, go ahead and make your attack.
It's 5. That's not gonna hit.
Nope. You miss.
Nope.
You hit Bo in the
okay,
face. He bursts into fire. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm gonna use my bonus action to give myself more temp hit points.
With the metal, the mighty metal thing. Yep.
And use one of those inspirations, so I'm at 1.
Okay, so you have 1 inspiration remaining. Okay.
And
And they're gonna roll that hit die.
There.
And then add plus, what do we say? +2, I think.
Yes, plus my proficiency. No, plus
yeah,
my
just
level.
your class level. Yeah, in this case.
Yeah. So that's
8 total.
That's 8 total. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's not so bad.
Not too bad. All right. So now this creature is going to attempt to attack you, but you notice as it attempts to attack you.
Oh, wait, and I use my free action to switch the X to my dominant hand.
Okay. As you see the creature attack you, but you can see
Item interaction.
that it is hesitating. It seems to be. You don't know whether it's very hard for you to tell what it's distracting it, but something is distracting it. Nonetheless, though, a non-natural 20, I think, is still going to hit you, I'm afraid. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 points of damage, slashing damage.
I don't think damage type makes any difference for me, so.
Yeah, I was going to say it's slashing. You stagger back from the somewhat from the hit.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us up to the top of the round. I do want to remind you also that you have Rick mods now that she's here. You could get her activating, the seer thing.
Wait, explain to me again what that do?
Oh,
what that
so
does?
she rolls a d20.
Yeah.
If you activate her, if you spend it, she rolls a d20, and you can use that d20 in the place of one of your d20 rolls. But
okay,
I mean,
so
if she
it's
rolls
like
a 2, you're out of luck.
Effectively a reroll for me, right?
Yes, but a reroll
and
where
do
you
I
know what the number is, though, because you know what she rolled.
Yeah. Okay. So it's effectively an advantage. Right?
Well, I keep saying not exactly, because you don't know what you rolled on an advantage, right? You're just rolling twice.
Okay, yeah, I'm just,
but in the case of her, you do know because she's rolling the d20. And so whatever that roll is, that's the number you're using if you wish to replace one of your own. In an advantage, you're just rolling again and you're hoping you get better. In this one, you know exactly what the roll is to begin with. So if she rolls an 18, you're like, I would like an 18. I'm going to use that 18. If she rolls a 3, you use the 3 if and ever you ever want to.
Now I get it. Okay. Okay.
Make sense?
And do I spend any actions or just her?
No, just her. You're just activating her, so that's fine.
Okay.
And in fact, you could do that if you wish.
I activate my trap card.
Exactly. Forbidden memories activate. Okay, so go ahead and roll d20. Let's see what she gets.
Wait. First of all, it's my turn, right?
Well, it's the follower turn. Yeah, that's your turn, so you can activate her.
Right. And I have my axe. Let me think. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I would like to activate her.
Okay.
And do I just save that roll for whenever I want
Correct.
to use it?
That's right. Well, you roll it now.
Fantastic.
You do have to roll it now. But then you save the number for when you want to use it. Yeah. 6. So, if you get lower than a 6, basically, but you have a 6 banked from her. So.
Great. Okay. How far away from the door am I?
You stepped forward up 20 feet.
Okay. I call one of my followers to bring me my shield.
Okay. Yeah.
Would that spend them?
No, not to bring you your shield. And Prince Justin's right. The 6 could be useful if you get a critical fail. Like,
Oh, yeah,
so that's a good point, Prince Justin. Yeah. Yeah, they can bring you that. Guy probably would toss you the shield.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I grab my shield.
Okay.
So now I'm back at 16 armor class. Cool. Okay. Yeah. And then, Fifa feels the weight of the axe in her hand to like get a feeling for it and
Yep.
stuff. And then she goes to town.
Roll it at advantage while using this weapon.
Oh, wait, an 11.
That is an 11. What did you have in there right now? For
What
bonus?
What do I have in there?
Bonus, you had 1. Yeah, no, it's better than that. So you get the 1 because of the proficiency thing, but
Yeah.
because of the nature of this weapon, you actually add an additional 5.
Oh, fantastic!
So it's a 16.
And I'm just gonna mark that down as magic bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you hit it, and now I would like you to roll. Let's see. First of all, it is okay. So 1d10 plus your strength, and so.
Oh, oops! Ignore that. I misclicked. Never mind. One. What was it?
1d10
1d.
plus your strength. I know you don't have a strength. It's -1.
I have minus.
Yeah.
Anything, but no other bonus damage or anything.
Not yet, but just you wait. First, it's 1d10.
Okay, so did it now already?
Okay, so
wait, yeah, it rolled the d10 correctly.
Okay, so that's 5. Is that counting the -1?
Yeah,
you did it. Okay, good. All right.
Set.
So now it takes 5 points of slashing damage, but as it strikes into the body of this beast, the glittering that I described flares up. I would like you. Let's see. He needs to make a saving throw first, and he does not make it.
No.
I would like you to roll.
Arn's X. It's Bo's X. He made that thing. It's Bo's X.
That's true. Yeah. I want you to roll an additional 1d10, please.
1d10.
I happen to love the description of this, by the way, chat.
4.
Okay, so an additional 4. I love the description of this, chat. It is this part of the weapon is called Great Shame. So whenever the Drake is hit by the great shame of his own broken axe blade formerly, he takes more damage. I happen to love the effect of what that is. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Right. Okay. Now it is going to go. Yeah, isn't that? I love that. Okay. Now it is going to go. Again, it attacks, but it is hesitant. And it keeps sort of like, it's not pulling its punches, but something, again, continues to distract it. Which means we're looking at an 11 is what it actually tries to hit you with, which I guess does not
Doesn't hit. No.
Okay. All right. You're up.
I'm fully
then.
armored now. Well, I'm technically not wearing my helmet, but that's not how armor works in this game. So.
Right. I was gonna say every attack that he does is aimed at your head. Every single one. No.
No, I mean like basically you have a set of armor which like different parts and they all count as one single armor piece.
Right.
So
Right.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I'm actually in character wearing my helmet.
That's right.
So long as I wear my mail, because the helmet is basically just decoration.
Right. That's right. 3/4 done. Nice, Hilness. Well, Genevieve is fighting a big undead creature, but is doing so with a magical weapon composed of his own failures, which is, I think that's kind of badass. Right, so he misses, which means you have another chance to get an attack.
I will take that. And you said I automatically get advantage, right?
Correct, using this weapon, that's right.
So I don't need my... I don't need inspiration.
That's right.
Right, yeah. Sharing, does a 25 hit?
Narrowly annihilates the air armor class, yes. Okay, so that hits. So first, regular damage, which, what did I say that was? 1d10, I believe?
Yes.
6, and then
Yes.
He needs to
Plus
make...
a d10.
If he... Hold on a second, he needs to miss... Yeah, no, he totally misses that. Does not make that saving throw. So yes, now you can roll additional 1d10. Whoa!
Oh, well, there we go!
Spam. And every time that it hits, the thing flares and he kind of roars loudly. And you can hear the sort of sounds of the terrified villagers in the longhouse watching this battle just echo, the sounds of the battle echo across the village.
Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, where was that? And what show? Where it's like, for one really epic battle, like every time, like the super magic, super awesome attack hits, there was this like huge sound.
Yeah. I know it's
Just like imagining that with this axe right now, and then
Pretty
every
much.
time it like starts to like there comes this like glow out of the spot that it hits and stuff like that. Like
it's got this type of thing.
yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, even with the hesitation that he's attacking with, he does hit you with a 23, not natural.
That hits.
All right. That is going to do 6 points of damage, which I think
Ouch.
uses 3 of your temp and then 3 of your regular. So you're at 4, I believe.
Correct. 4 hit points.
All right. You're still up.
Use a healing spell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wand of healing.
That you totally have. Okay. It is your turn.
Considering that I did send even Galib earlier to help Bo, does he count as spent now?
Sorry.
Because I know that I spent Guy this day already for something. I don't remember what.
Yeah, you did. What was who else did you ask was spent?
Ibn Galib, because I sent him to help Bo.
No,
with
I don't count that as a
weapon.
spending. No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I call him over to basically shield me.
Okay. Fair enough. Protect me. All right, so you're going to engage him so that the Drake is focusing his attention on him. All right. He will do that. We'll talk about the effect there. Okay, so that means you are up with your so you've done that, and now you can take your regular turn.
Right, another attack. That's a 10. No, an 18.
18, I was going to say advantage.
I have advantage.
And 18 will certainly hit.
Another 6.
Okay, let me see if he makes this saving throw. Hang on. Ooh, it's close. Wait a second.
I wait.
Nope, not enough though. So another 1d10, please.
Hell yeah. Can I use Rickmod 6 for that?
I wish I could say yes.
No.
But unfortunately, it's a d20 replacement.
Different die, so that doesn't count.
Exactly. Okay, he is going to...
I play that one card from Munchkin, the fucked up die that lets me choose whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the card is called in English. I only know the German name.
I actually wonder if it's called, like, I know what you mean. It's like the cocked die thing, though, where it's like, no, it wasn't. Yeah. Okay. So...
Give myself 1 billion.
On the third and subsequent rounds. Okay, so this is the first round. So as a reminder, when we get to the third round of the follower of Galib fighting, then you're going to have to start making death saving throws for him. But in the moment, he's just engaging them. Galib is trying, but you can see that he's struggling a little bit against this thing, not having the benefit of your weapon. However, it means that the creature is not attacking you. So you can now... on this next turn, on the second turn of his engagement, you can attack the Drake yourself again.
Okay. I shall do that.
Crit hit on the
baby.
advantage. Let's go. All right. So that is a total of max damage. So we're
7?
talking... no, 1d10, remember? Slashing, so minus the 1 for your strength.
Oh, the attack was plus... Yeah, no, I'm just stupid. Yeah.
So we're talking 9,
so
right?
it's...
So
what was it? That. Then it's 11.
Is it... No, because it's strength, right? So it'd be minus 1
Yeah, but
for
my
the damage?
proficiency bonus, because I'm proficient.
Oh, right, that's right. Okay, so then, yeah, that's right. So then 10.
Plus 1.
Yep. All right.
11.
11, that's right. Okay.
11!
11! And then he does not make his con saving throw again, so I need you to roll an additional 1d10.
Also, I'm a bit stupid. I lied earlier. The helmet totally does count separately from my armor.
I thought that it might actually.
Yeah, it gives me +1 to AC.
Okay. So you're
I
sitting
don't
at.
know if that has been like that's like literally 1 point difference. I don't think that's
I don't think
like
it has so far, but
retroactively-
so you have a 15 functional AC right now,
I
right?
have
Okay.
15 armor class
Okay.
right now.
Cool. All right. So again, Galib staggers back from the blow. This is the second round of his engaging him. So now we go, and he's not attacking you. Now we go to the top of the third round of engagement, and you have another shot at this guy.
How hurt does Galib look?
Does Galib look? He looks like he's hard pressed. I believe it is this turn. On the third round. So on this round and going forward, he will have to make a death saving throw at the end of the Drake's turn, if they were the target of the Drake, which he will be.
He will be, okay.
Then you could spend Mundir. I mean, you could just throw your followers at him repeatedly. You go get him. You go get him, coach. He can also disengage, by the way. When he disengages Galib, then he becomes spent, so you can't reuse him. But you could do that if you wanted to get away safely. Otherwise, it's death saving throw time.
So like it's really difficult to tell with like a half rotten undead how hurt they look, but how hurt does this guy look?
He looks, exactly. I mean, he definitely looks. His body looks less well constituted than it did.
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely skin and so forth, and parts of bone that are lying on the ground. There's no blood, obviously. But every time you hit him with this thing, you can just see the flaring. You can feel the impact behind the blow. It's definitely being hurt significantly. Whether that means he's close to absolute death, you're not clear about. And according to what Rickmod said, you had to cut off his head at the end of the battle anyway, but he's not down yet.
What does remind me what the follower gift Bare-Blooded does again?
The follower gift Bare-Blooded means that the follower has advantage on strength checks and saving throws, but unfortunately, death saving throws are not that.
Right. Are called shots a thing in 5e? They aren't, right?
Yeah. No, you can do called shots. Usually that's at disadvantage. Since you have advantage on this, it would be like an equal. But if you're going to try to call,
if I use my inspiration.
No, you can't. You can't double. You can't do equal and then inspire on top of it. Although, actually, let me think about that. No, actually, I think you could do that because it would cancel out. But if you're going to ask if you can call shot to decapitate the guy, no, it's going to be impossible. He's too strong for that. And Genevieve is not, even with this weapon, is not so much of a badass that she can, at level 2, decapitate a guy from the number of hit points he has, which I can't tell you, but which are not like only a couple.
I mean, he did grow. He's probably just too high up, so I can't reach.
You like jump up and he's like, eh.
Well, Runeset could do that. She was totally the type of person who can just like jump and decapitate a person in midair. But
maybe not Genevieve though.
Okay, no, I do want to disengage.
Galib.
Even Galib.
Okay. You can do that, which means that it's going to focus.
Even Mundir, even though he's also not a fighter.
Yeah, I was going to say, because otherwise, if you don't do that, then the creature's going to focus on you next.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah, I'm calling it even Mundir.
Okay. All right. Even Mundir kind of. All right, creature. He says. Now, I mean, he's not.
He did have like sword training.
Of course, exactly.
But,
no, he's
like
not totally
a warrior
incompetent.
first,
I
right?
can't
he's
wait
like,
till you bring Rick Mod forward to do this. Can I just say?
Good Lord.
You'll be happy to know you won't because you already spent her by using the die, but it would have been very funny to see Rick Mod be like, he's like standing in front of him. But no. All right, so Mundir
she would
is in
fight
there.
like Granny did in
yes.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes, true.
Right, just like hitting people on the foot with her walking stick.
With her walking stick. Okay, but it's your turn first anyway. So this is the first round of the Mundir going after him.
Yeah, I hit. 10 does not hit, does it?
10 is not going to hit. That's counting the plus whatever.
Yeah.
Plus 6. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, it's not. Now, interestingly, though, what did you roll? What was the roll that you had on that initially?
The
just the
roll. The roll is 4, if I see this right. Yeah, 4. -1 +2 +5.
4. So
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna say, well, it might not matter, but I was just gonna remind you that you do have Rick Mod 6 sitting there. So you could use that instead, but it might not matter. It might not be enough anyway. Because remember, you can
A
substitute
6 instead of a 10.
instead of a 4. Remember, it's the D20 that you're replacing.
Oh, not the total.
Right. But having said that, it may not matter though. That's only 2 extra points. But that's something to think about. So I'm not telling you to use it. I don't want to lead you down the garden path one way or the other. It would be close. It means you'd be getting a 12 instead of a 10.
But I know that an 11 hit earlier. So wait, did it? Oh no, that was like without the 5 added.
No.
Oh, god damn it.
So you don't know.
What is the lowest I've hit so far? That was a 16.
16, I think, was the lowest that you had, I believe.
hit so far. Okay. So
So it may not matter.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
using
letting
it.
you know.
I'm using it.
Okay.
So 12.
Okay. Let's see. Not enough.
Not enough. Okay.
Not enough.
But now I know that 12 is not enough.
That's right. So it gave you
Knowing
information
half the
regardless.
battle. Also, I would like to use my bonus action, just like assuming that even Mundir would have brought my helmet along, and like, can I use my bonus action to put my helmet back on?
Yes. Although I'm stretching a bit the assuming Mundir would bring you your helmet, because
Well, I did say earlier that I did pass it off to one of my followers. We can just say, oh, that
you
was
did toss
Mundir.
it behind you. That's fair. Okay, I will allow that. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. And meanwhile, the drag is just like swinging away at Mundir, who is
So I'm now
giving
back at my
ground
full armor
slightly.
class, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're now
Back
up
at
at 16.
16.
Okay, so that's round number 1, Drake attacking Mundir. So now we get to the second round, and Genevieve, you're up.
Yeah, I attack again. Not much else I can do, huh? 14.
So, no advantage, right?
Oh, 17. Woohoo!
17 will hit, yes.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll your first the 1d10 thing.
Well, you need to do the saving throw for him.
Well, no, but first,
1d10.
no, but I mean the 1d10 for the slashing, because that's going to hit anyway, right?
Oh yeah, 5 damage.
Now I will see about the saving throw. Nope,
Swing.
does not make that either. He's made...
Sweet.
One came close, but it's a very
Bad at
difficult...
saving throws.
Yeah, well, no, it's a difficult con check. It's a very difficult con
No,
check.
he's just bad.
He's just bad, okay. You're bad and you should feel bad. Hey,
That's 3 extra points of damage.
it's a tough DC. Okay. All right. Noted. Okay. He will again slam, like Mundir barely holds up under the strain. Okay, so we're now to the top of the third round, Genevieve. Now you have a decision to make. If you keep Mundir in there, he will continue to attack and you make death saving throws for him. If you have him disengage, then he is spent and then you're out of followers. So I'm just letting you know either way, because you also only have remember, the death saving throw means actually that if your follower, let's see, might be slain. Yeah, you'd have a decision to make. If the death saving throw fails, he might be slain. That may have a variety of effects. But he might also not be slain. And otherwise, you might be defeated. So you've definitely been wailing away at this creature, and it is showing signs of significant damage. But something to think about. You also could get... Now, you could use an inspiration from... Which I think you have sitting with... I think you have one still sitting left over from... so you could use that to inspire your followers' saving throw, death saving throw. But that would give you advantage on it.
I don't think I can do
it.
that because followers have a separate inspiration pool.
Right,
don't
that's
they?
true. So you would need to... Right, so in that case, you'd need to get an inspiration from chat. Maybe Effect Life would need to give you one again if you wanted to do that. So it's a lot of variables to consider. But also, it's Beowulf, you know? Fights are tough.
Would be cool if one of my player characters could at least survive one adventure. So
Yeah,
I
that would
need
be
to
nice.
Roll up another one.
That would be nice.
Um,
The tale of Rickmod.
yes, let's play as Rickmod again. Again, as an old woman again.
Effect Life is offering it if you want it.
Let me think. Bonk.
This has been intense, chat. They're gonna be like, "Why did we use 5 hits? What the frick?" Well, it's tough. This is the finale of Horror at Herrogate, so.
So many feats, and none of them do anything that would be useful here. God damn it. I did say earlier that we did prep everything so that we could just easily and quickly lock the door behind us in the hall, did I?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, what I'm doing is that I want to try and topple the Arn. I want to topple him. And use that moment of him like being stuck on the floor, that split second, to try and get myself and even Mundir back in the hall and bar the door behind us.
Okay. So you're gonna you're basically both trying to bail out in a way.
Well, I mean, already 2 dead people tonight. One of which I'm sad about.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's fair. I didn't mean bail out like, so you're just running? I just wanted to make sure I knew what was happening.
No, it's just a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like, definitely you're damaging it. There's no question about that.
I'm at 4 hit points. If this guy hits me once more, I'm dead, and even Mundir's 1 bad roll away from being dead too. So.
It's true.
I'm not risking it.
It's tough to be a hero.
Genofefa also wouldn't risk it. So okay. It would also be a character. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try and topple him. What would that be?
Okay, so then what you're going to do with that, if you're going to try to basically overbear him, essentially, then it's...
Or sweep his leg or something.
Yeah, sweep
Can I do a cold shot on his legs or something to topple him?
Not when he's already larger, remember, than he was. It's going to be very hard. Okay. And that is one thing I want to mention. The strength stuff is going to be difficult. Actually, is... Oh, you can't use him. I was going to say, if one of your followers, you asked about being bare-blooded before, because they would have advantage on strength checks, but it's too late because they're already all spent. So, unfortunately, this is going to be an opposed strength throw. It's going to be hard, Genevieve, to do this with your strength level.
Now, let me think then.
Because it's an opposed strength roll is why. King Arthur ran away a lot in the Holy Grail. Yeah, it's true. Chat, I'm going to give inspiration to all of you in chat, just to look as you're looking at my cat. You can see how Ganesh is really concerned, like this is very
burdened by the weight of life.
Like I can't even look. That's how much he values this.
Can't feint either. I guess I could just use my action to disengage and then try to close the door behind us?
Yes, you could double move.
No, because I would use my action to disengage.
Double move, right. You're using your action to disengage, that's 1. Then you use your movement action to go the rest of the way into the door.
Yeah, but that's not double moving.
Sure it is. You're moving twice. Disengaging is a movement.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought that's just using up action.
No,
okay.
It's a movement.
If you say so, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, no, it counts as an action, but it's a, double move doesn't mean you also get an action. It means that one of your actions is being used to move as well as your normal movement.
I just thought I can either disengage or get double movement.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you can disengage and move. So if you disengage, that gets you 5 feet away or whatever. Then you move and you're only, what did we say, 20 feet in front of the door? So your normal speed, will get you there without having to go extra. So yeah, you can get inside.
Yeah, no, yeah, we both disengage, get in there and try to bar the door behind us.
Okay. Let's see. Let me have you make a strength check. It's not a super difficult one.
Can I get an athletics check, then I don't get the -1?
Yeah, you can do athletics. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, cool. Oh, for fuck's sake, 7. In my defense, there are other people in there who could be helping.
That's true. That's true. Effect Life also has given you an inspiration.
Thank you.
And you have an inspiration sitting there anyway, I think. In addition, you have a
I still have one left.
So, okay. So I would say, yeah, along with the other ones, you're able to bar the door. You inspired before the roll. No, that's right. That's right. So assuming you're going to take actually, which means I should have asked that. Yeah, he said he inspired before the roll. Are you taking Effect Life's inspiration then?
Yes.
To get okay. Yeah, because the 7 would not have done it.
Absolutely.
But this does. So you're able to bar the door. And a moment later, there's this like this smashing sound as something throws its weight against the door, and the beam that you've used to close the door cracks slightly. And the people inside, like this just sort of terrified shrieks.
Yeah, I would just command everybody to lean against the door who can.
Okay. This is very Two Towers film at this point, trying to hold back Helm's Deep, you know. Okay, they will do that.
This is what would have happened if they wouldn't have gone to Helm's Deep. If they would have had to defend Herrogate.
Right. They would have been right, exactly. They instead of stone, they would have been dealing with wood.
was the one from Beowulf. Ironically, no. What was the name?
The Golden Hall of Meduseld.
Meduseld, right?
Yeah.
Hall. Yes.
Yes. But I mean, like, but essentially, you're right. Like, you're defending a wooden, a strong wooden, but still wooden as opposed to stone. So, okay, so you do that. There is this cracking sound. You see a slight crack in the beam. That brings us up to the top of the round again. So you are now inside this barred door, and it is trying to break through. Yeah,
I would command people to bring more furniture to block this door while we all try and hold the door.
Okay. So more, like tables are piled up against it.
Yeah.
Again, smash! The beam again cracks a little more. There's a little bit of dust that rains down from the roof. Is there
any gap so far in the door?
No, but the beam does not look like it's going to hold up that long.
Sick. Well, there's probably a bench then that we could use on top of the beam.
Yeah, well, I assumed I already included that because you said you wanted to pile up everything you could, so I sort of assumed
we are
that was
piling
happening.
Everything up.
Yep. Again, the furniture kind of shakes.
What else can we do at this point? I'm just waiting for there to be a crack in the door itself so that I can start stabbing through it.
Ah, I see. Yeah, it's actually not Two Towers film. It's Fellowship of the Ring film where you start shooting against the troll when they crack the thing. Yeah, yep. Okay. Well, we can fast forward slightly to that then, because as the cracks continue, eventually, now just to understand, I assume you have the villagers kind of clustered towards the back of the hall once they brought up all the furniture, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So furniture kind of gets smashed to the way, and I would say maybe the 4th or 5th round, there's a little crack in the wood of the door, enough that you can actually see just one baleful green eye sort of staring through.
Okay, so now I'm getting out my bow, and I'm doing a Legolas. So I did Aragorn earlier.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing a Legolas. Because I'm assuming the gap is not large enough to hit through there with the axe.
Definitely not with the axe, no.
No, but
not yet, anyway. Okay, go ahead and make your attack then.
I use my final inspiration for this.
Okay, sounds good.
Now I'm out of inspirations. Okay.
This is why we held on to it, chat. This is why we keep all the Phoenix Downs. Well, well, a 6.
Big 6 hits.
Fortunately,
he was distracted.
It hits the wood, and just sort of sticks in the door. Again, a smash. The crack widens, and now you can more clearly see his body and his eyes as he's just sort of slavering, pulling at the door.
Okay, so basically what I want to do is keep repeating the bow thing. until I have a feeling, okay, next moment that he hits the door, he's going to be able to stick an arm through.
Okay. In that case, make another attack with your bow.
Okay.
I have Lego Lamb when you can have Legolas.
Oh, that's an 11.
Yeah, unfortunately, no advantage on this one. 11 does not hit.
Okay.
And again, sting.
Okay,
I would
let me know
say
when not when he sticks an arm through, but when he gets a feet. When I think that next time he's going to stick.
I
his
would
arm
say
through.
next time, because you see the crack is widened enough that you're pretty sure he'll be able to. Yeah.
I toss the bow away and get out the axe and are ready in action to hit him as soon as he sticks his arm through, or whatever. As soon as he sticks through, basically.
Right. So what he basically does, he just his bash, like his arm goes straight through the wood, and the thing splinters, apart. And now you can see there's a pretty big gap. So you can now go ahead and make your attack on him.
On his turn, by the way, with a 23.
That's right, on his turn, and yes, that will hit.
Was 8.
Okay.
Big 8.
And now I need to see if he makes the saving throw. Is he going to make any saving throw is the question. Nope. Still no. He got within 2 points once, but otherwise no.
6.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
this is intense. What the fuck?
Yeah, he smashes through again. Now about half his body is through. If you had to guess, Genevieve, you would say next turn he'll be through all the way, and then he'll be able to start getting attacks in on you. But in the meantime, you have one more, in essence, free attack, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
On his person. So
I keep hacking away. There's literally nothing else I can do right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, a 9.
Sadly, that's not going to do it. Okay. Smash! Okay, he finally breaks through into the hall. The people, terrified shrieks of the people in the hall. And your followers are there. Now, you have a decision to make here, Genevieve, and you have to do this now. So, I'm trying to think if Ibn... No, I can't. You really...
They all spent.
Yeah, they had... Yeah, you spent. You can't. So, this is all about you at this point. So, but you do get to attack first. That's the good news. So. All right, good luck, Illness, and yeah, take it easy. Continue to pace yourself.
24.
That will definitely hit.
5.
5, okay, and then he has to make his thing. Nope, still doesn't make it. He has not made any saving throws.
Oh god, a 1.
Okay.
Well, I mean, 1 is better than nothing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
In this case.
Absolutely. Okay. So he will now make his attack on you, still focused on you, and still hesitant. Something still...
I forgot to announce. I would have picked up my shield in between.
No, that's okay. I assumed you were doing
okay.
that. Okay, so he does not hit you because he rolls a total of 7 because he's, again, hesitant. Something is holding him back. Okay, Genevieve, you are up. Your turn again, so I assume you're continuing to hack. Looks fairly bad shape now.
25.
Yep.
10.
Ooh, wow. All right, let's see. And he, again, does not make it. Literally has not made one of his con
9!
throws.
Let's go!
9? Okay. So, when you strike him for the 9, again, the axe flares. And then as it flares, it shatters. And he sort of like staggers back. And you have a moment where he is staring directly at you with this axe. And then he reaches out his arm, and you can see that he's reaching it towards one of the, because he's inside the room now, towards one of the terrified sort of villagers that's sitting on the side. And then you are, as you're looking at him, out from his front comes a spear. Something has pierced it from behind him. And he kind of falls to his knees, and you hear a familiar voice say, "Now finish him off." And you see Hilda on one knee with her holding her spear, which has pierced his chest.
She stepped through the heart. How?
Well, she looks like she's well, we'll get it. I can't get into that right now. You will see.
She's Fortune from Metal Gear Solid 2. Her heart is on the other side.
Her heart is on the other side. This is an incredible act of will. We will see what happens on the other end of it.
Fucking hell.
So he's just there
again.
like this.
18.
Yep. Now, question: Where are you aiming this attack? Very important.
So like the door is like basically out of the picture.
Yeah.
And he is really tall right now, right?
No, but he's on his knees now.
He's on his because
he fell to his knees.
If his neck is in reach, then you know where I'm aiming.
That's what I figured. I wanted to make sure. Okay, so the as I mentioned, the axe blade shattered, but there is a remnant of it left, and ironically, it is this one, chat. The same little broken piece is still hanging on barely to the pole, and as the makeshift pole, and as you bring it across, the axe flares one last time and cuts this massive scar across its neck. You see the green light in its eyes flare and then go out as the head topples off its shoulders, and the body just, knees and then the ground. And you see Hilda staring and then falling also lifeless to the ground. And there is dead silence.
Yeah, Genofifa basically waits like for literally just a moment, but it feels like an eternity.
Yep.
Just like to see if anything is still moving.
It is not, in fact. And it is not moving, except maybe just sort of like Hilda's hand slightly twitching. But even as you watch, that stills. And whatever force of will allowed her to kind of crawl her way over is now gone. Your followers come over to you, as you are obviously pretty exhausted, sort of pull you to your feet. And the drake, which according to Rickmod's advice, you bury the body along with the head, has been destroyed, and the settlement is safe. There are a few who do celebrate this, but over the next...
Greg.
Yeah, sure.
Like, there's a few things I want to do here, and I know we are like out of time. But
No, go ahead.
In that case, I would really like to like save the epilogue for next session.
No, that's okay. Actually, we have a few more minutes to do that. That's all right.
Okay.
And then I will let you do that. Sure. So go ahead. I wasn't going to push past your chance to do any of this, but but I'll give you a chance right now, since right after this has happened. But Hilda is dead. That you don't have a chance to jump into. Like, she's she is like, pretty dead already.
Basically, she would like, once she like realizes that it's over, like Genofifa would like drop what remains of the axe and like basically step over Arn's corpse and like, yeah, basically cradle Hilda, or like what remains of her.
Yeah.
And
her head kind of, like lolls back loosely. Although
like close her eyes.
Yeah, she does have maybe a slight smile, something hard to say. It doesn't look like a look of terror.
Yeah, and basically I guess that's where like Genofifa would just be like, okay, no, I'm just going to bed now. Like basically would like get up again, probably ask her followers to help her carry Hilda's body inside and like prop it up on the table. Get a closet somewhere. Probably there's somewhere a closet here, and reach like just to drape it over her cloak or something. She probably was wearing a cloak.
Yes. And you could do that.
And then she would like look at all the villagers who I assume are just standing there half frozen and be like, hey, maybe it's time you all go to bed.
And they all sort of like stare like at you, and then they do not stop you, but they also don't say anything as you, like, where do you try to just like in the longhouse, like put down like a mat or something? Like where do you try to go for this rest?
Yeah, no, would stay here in the longhouse.
Okay. Okay. Well, you are able to do that. You were obviously not disturbed.
Like she has a sleeping bag.
Okay.
It's like used to this.
Yeah, no, for sure. Do you send your crew back to your ship or not?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So the next morning you do awaken. And you can see that it was not a dream. It's still, the front door is just as devastated as it was. What do you want to do? Because the village has stuff it's going to want to do, but I want to wait to hear what you have to say.
Is Arn's body still on the ground?
Yes. Yeah, no one has touched it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess after just like having a bite, no proper breakfast, would just like take her followers and go bury Arn somewhere as Rigmod instructed.
Okay.
And like have Rigmod specifically explain to her what exactly needs to be done, if anything more specific needs to be done.
Back in this, and I assume you want to do that in the cemetery where he had originally been interred, because that's up to you. That don't have to do that.
Oh, he wasn't just like buried somewhere in a forest in a ditch or something?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he was actually properly buried first time around? Because like they didn't know he was dead, right?
They didn't know he was dead, but it turns out that, yeah, his father had buried him secretly in the graveyard in an unmarked grave. In an unmarked grave.
So
you could do that, but you don't have to.
That out. Yeah, we would like properly bury him.
Okay.
And I guess considering that there's a proper graveyard, I'm assuming that like the people here do proper burials instead of like burning their dead, right?
They do, yes.
I guess in that case, once we like figured that out, I guess we would like first lay down his body instead of like properly burying him for now.
Okay.
And because it's daytime, he's not going to come back during the daytime anyway. I hope these are creatures of the night. That and like would basically fetch. I guess we would like go inquire with Bo, because like he knew Hilda and Arn. Ask them what's the best thing to do, and also ask them what to do with Thorfinn's remains. I mean, that was their leader. Like, does Thorfinn even deserve a proper grave?
Well, it's interesting you mention that, because the reaction from the villagers is very mixed. They are all grateful to you, but there are some villagers who actually seem a little. The whole thing is a somber experience. Like, it's not a yay, the Wicked Witch is dead. Like it's not like that. They are sort of devastated by the fact that their whole thing was based on a lie. What they thought was the sort of inspiration for their town was not true. The idea that it was the chieftain's son who was attacking them, the idea that the chieftain is the one who killed the son, like the whole bit, not to mention what eventually happened to him. So they do bury his body, but they say no ritual blessings over it. There are no ceremony beyond just the sort of put him in a grave. In fact, it is also an unmarked grave, interestingly. But the thing they ask you beyond that, which becomes very important actually, is who is to be the leader? Because
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
To do a different thing.
Okay.
Still with the burial.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Because FIFA would pick up the remains of the weapon. So like from the way you described, it kind of sounded like the sax blade was grafted onto the axe blade. Or how did that look?
No, it was that the hilt, basically, so the hilt of the sax was, well, okay, hold on a second. Let me grab the actual, so that was right. So the broken sax, which is sort of like the tip of that thing, was, yes, that was basically lashed around the handle that was holding the broken axe blade.
Okay.
And then there was the crystal at the bottom of the hilt, the thing that was holding it.
Okay. So, but like all the pieces still remain.
Yes, they're all
right?
broken off, but
Okay.
yes, they all remain.
Yeah, in that case, FIFA would take that thing apart again.
Okay.
And make sure that the axe blade with runes carved in it,
Yep.
with the writing carved in it, that
Yep.
that one is buried with Arn.
Okay. Yep.
And she would hang on to the sex and the gem.
Okay.
And also for Hilda's burial, she would pick up what remains of her spear that she used.
Okay.
To bury it with her.
With Hilda. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that obviously she has a sorry, wrong song. That's also the wrong song. There we go. This is what I want. Yeah, and her burial, of course, as you might expect, which happens very close to the other one. This is not an unmarked grave. I mean, Hilda is given, celebrated rites and the whole bit. They do not scrimp on her ceremony.
Right. And like after, or like when Thorfinn's body is buried, Guinevere would basically lean down to Rigmod and basically like whisper to her, "Hey, can you like do anything to make sure that he doesn't come back?"
And she sort of looks at you bemusedly and then says, "The cowards never do. There is no great essence animating him. You need not worry of his return on that score. He ran in life. He will run again in death."
Well, that's something at least.
It's more than something. It is a resolution. You made it possible, Genevieve, even if there was a price to pay.
True. I suppose. I just feel mostly really tired after all of this. I feel like I need to sleep a whole week.
And she nods and she says, "I imagine the villagers would accommodate you."
Well, there's still work to do, isn't there? But first, let's maybe have a bite. And a drink, maybe. That would be nice.
And she agrees. You are able to have a bite to eat and a drink. And again, very somber affair for a group of people that have been saved from certain destruction. The reaction of everything is just sort of a somber seriousness. But they're alive, and that's more than they would have been without your intervention.
Yeah, I think my crew would like make sure that this becomes a proper party.
Okay.
They feel they deserve a proper feast, so they're gonna have a proper feast, basically.
They probably feel good about it. That's true, actually. Do you spend more of your time with your crew during these days celebrating, or do you spend more time with the villagers, do you think?
I think we would all be celebrating together, unless they like for some reason wouldn't want to.
You don't get the impression the villagers want to. I mean, again, they're not mad at you. I want to emphasize they're not. They're just going through it. I guess is the best way to put it.
FIFA herself is like not in a party mood after all of this.
Yeah.
So like she would basically sit there and like nod and like raise her cup when appropriate, that kind of jazz. But she wouldn't like proper party like everybody else, presumably. So yeah, I guess like in between she would like go and check up on the village, just like go for walks around the village. Just like, and like chat with Bo. Like that's like one thing that's like really on her mind,
Bo in particular
basically the two people closest to her basically effectively just died in one night.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Bo Bo is like obviously is even more dour than usual because you might remember that he himself had a little bit of a rivalry for Hilda's love. And so but he continues to work at his forge and he remains grateful to you. At one point, I would say a couple of nights after the burial ceremonies for both, for everybody, Thorfinn, Hilda, etc., you're sitting in the smithy and he says, it was worth it, even with everything lost. We can make some more weapons now. But I don't know that the rest of the villagers will see it that way. They might just leave. His place, it feels like, was never what anyone thought it was.
And what will you do?
One part of me wants to make weapons till my fingers fall off. And then there's another part that'd like to leave it all behind. The villagers are going to have a ceremony. They're talking about electing a new leader. You know the two? The choices?
The who?
The two choices? No. One of them is Frode. I mentioned that's Frode the Wise, the old guy who was the
Did I talk
one
to
of the
that
advisors. Guy? Very little. And Bo says the other one would have been Hilda. But with Hilda gone, there's some talking about me. As if I could lead people. I could barely lead myself to do what should have been done. If not for you, we would have all sat here and waited, believing in fairy tales. Anyway, that's what the villagers are going to vote on this evening. Who leads the village?
Do you think Frode is up for the job?
He shrugs. He's smarter than me. He's wiser. But he was there the whole time when Thorfinn was going through whatever he was going through. I don't know that he knew that Thorfinn was lying, but I don't think he asked many questions, if you know what I mean. I don't know if we need someone like that or someone different. I'm being nominated myself against my will. But some of the villagers think that I'm steady. He kind of shakes his head with his bitter expression. He says, steadily more of a fool.
You kind of saved the town here. Would have never been able to take Arn down without your help.
I wouldn't have had any of that if it weren't for you. You're the one they ought to turn to for a leader. Team effort. A team effort only happens with a hero.
Yeah, I'm not sticking around, thank you. But who else do you think could lead the village?
So he's, the whole time he's been doing this, he's been like hammering away at something, right? And when you say that, he kind of, I don't know, damn it all. And he starts naming off some people. He says, Ursa the fisherwoman. No, you may remember Ursa's the first person that you met when you first arrived. Yeah. He's like, I don't think she's interested or capable. It's nothing against her, but who else is going to do it? And he starts like listing off these names, Ingvold the farmer and like all these different people. And he's like, and he just sort of trails off into silence. And he says, it should be someone who's suited for it.
Well, and sometimes it has to be the person
hammering to make up for lost time.
The least not suited for the job.
And he looks at you as if to be like,
She just blinks at him like, you know who I'm talking about.
He just turns back and starts hammering away again. He says, they've already been led by fools. I don't know, what's one more? You realize I might just tell them to come with me and leave. Maybe we'll go down to the monastery, rebuild them. What? What'd you say?
If you think that's best for them.
Why should what I think matters?
Because this is also your village.
Yeah. He sort of hammers away again. You notice that he's hammering so hard that the metal's getting a little distorted. You wonder if it's if he's maybe slightly overstretching his, clack, clack, clack,
Well, I mean, this is not a decision I can make for you, or should be making for you. But I think you and I both know that you want what's best for your village.
He nods slowly and he says, will you be at the ceremony tonight? The vote?
If you will have me.
He nods. It might be a good idea.
Then I shall be there. And in the meantime, I shall let you work on... what is this going to be? Like an iron for a horse's foot? Or... Why is this so bent?
He is hammering away at the remnants of Hilda's spear.
Wait, we buried that.
Oh yeah, sorry, I can't do that. I had a really cool idea and I can't do it. No, that's right, we can't do it. No, you're right. You buried it.
Always bury a warrior with their weapon.
No, you're
That's
right.
how
You're
we
right.
do
You're
it.
right. So then I would say what he's working on then is a shield that's got some metal inlay. So he's not hammering it, mostly wood, but he's got this sort of metal trim that would be around of that.
Ooh, very fancy. I've seen shields like that.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of weapons, one thing Hilda would have done is to take Thorfinn's sword. He had a sword?
Thorfinn had a sword and a long sex. So yes.
Right. She would have taken both of those and for now would have stored them away.
Where does that mean? On her ship?
Well, just in her, probably would have given it to safekeeping with her crew for now.
Okay.
She intends to do something with it. Oh, actually, this would be the perfect moment. Let's say she brought them actually along to go talk with Bo. It's may I borrow your anvil and hammer for a moment?
And he nods and steps back.
Yeah, she gets out first the sacks and takes a hammer and just basically half leans the sword over the anvil and hits the end of the sacks to bend it in half. Okay. Basically. Okay. And then does the same with the sword and packs them away again.
And he sort of looks wordlessly as you do this, and then he kind of nods. All right, then.
I assume you people don't do that here, but where I'm from, this is what we do with the weapons of enemies.
It seems more civilized than what we do. We bend the bodies of our enemies and apparently our friends. But it's not a bad thing to do.
Well, I'll be taking these to sea and then dispose of them.
And he says, I don't suppose this happens in other places. This level of betrayal, misunderstanding.
Well, you've heard the tales. Those must have come from somewhere.
Well,
we wouldn't have known how to beat Arn if it hadn't been for the people who had previously fought creatures like Arn. So things like these must be happening somewhere else.
It was the tales that got us in trouble in the first place.
How so? Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, some tales are better than others, I suppose.
He says, there's rumors that the scope is going to be coming here from home not too long from now. I don't entirely know what they're going to say, but, well, there's some people in the village who were pretty angry when they found out that he was responsible for helping spread the lies.
Well, he was being threatened by Thorfinn.
And he kind of, rubs the back of his neck. He says, well, so was Hilda, and it didn't stop her.
Well, you also knew Hilda, so I don't think anything could stop her.
He nods, and he says, No, that was the trouble. You know, I saw what happened when it was coming towards her. I think she really thought it would remember her and see reason. But if there was anything of Arn left, it was buried underneath the evil of that thing.
Can't help but feel at fault for this. I too believe that there was maybe a way to come through to him, that maybe, hey, if we just take away his reason for revenge, he would just stop.
Well, you were too busy fighting it to know, but, you know, more than once it was going to swing at you, and then it stopped. First I thought it was the weapon, but I saw it keep looking down at the body of Hilda. Makes you wonder.
So a little bit of him might have still have been in there, huh?
He nods. A bit. Not that it mattered for Hilda.
Well, not that we can do anything about this anymore, but maybe it would be good for you to come out of your smithy and have a drink with the rest of us.
He sighs heavily and he says, "You feel like celebrating?"
I feel like drinking.
Yeah. That's fair enough. And he puts the hammer down by the shield that he's working on. And he says, "The forge is getting too cold to do good work anyway."
It is quite cold for a spring day, isn't it?
It usually is around here. Usually is. You can hear the sound of like the wind and a little bit of the storm actually fits perfectly, I think. Genevieve, at the vote, I do want to ask if you would speak up for or against either of the candidates, because it is basically Bo against Frode. So, and it seems like it's an even split among the village as to which way they want to go.
So that's like the vibe I'm getting currently, right?
That's the vibe you're
And
getting.
I'm assuming this is just a raise your hand type of vote, right? They're not doing like a secret voting thing.
Correct.
Right. Does either of them like give a speech or anything? Like, hey, vote for me, blah blah blah.
Well, no, but few of them. Several of the common folk argue that Frode is best suited to lead the settlement because he's, been closest to leadership. He's a steady hand, blah, blah, blah. But there are others, and this includes Ursa the fisherwoman, who say that Frode did just as much to harm this settlement. He was the Earl's orphan's closest advisor. He hid the kind of, even if he didn't know himself, and Frode claims he didn't know, he sort of like looked the other way at the leader's failings and so on. And Frode says that he couldn't possibly know exactly what had happened, but Ursa argues that it's worse because it was right in front of his eyes and still nothing happened. So those are sort of the feelings about Frode one way or the other.
I guess instead of like straight up like going, hey guys, vote for Bo, she would be going like whenever somebody says something pro Bo and anti pro
bono is the word.
And anti Frode, she would like basically go here and stuff like that,
Okay.
Just like audibly approve.
Okay.
Audibly and visibly approve.
But to be clear, and this part's important, you're not actively speaking for one or the other?
No, I don't think Idofifa would.
Okay.
Like, this is not her place. This is not her town. This is not her business.
Okay. In that case, I would like, let's see. Let me have you roll this, actually, Tari. Roll a 1d6 for me, please.
Oy vey. We're doing even or odds. That's 5, uneven.
5. So Bo does win the vote.
Nice.
Here. And Bo becomes the leader. He looks most uncomfortable wearing the chain of office, and in fact, pretty quickly he ends up.
How did that saying go again? Or something like sits. Uncomfortable is the head that the crown sits upon.
Yes, uncomfortable is the head that wears the crown. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Yes, that's how it goes. Yes.
Yep. And so, and he, you can see that like he's got the chain. He's sort of like, he does this thing. I don't know if you've ever seen people like something that they clearly would not wear normally, that they sort of like awkwardly hold in their hand or something.
Being
like
worn by their clothes.
Yeah, like exactly. That's a good one, actually. I never heard that before. Yes, exactly like
really?
that. Yeah, I never heard that phrase. That's good. That's exactly what this is like. Like you can already tell that he like sort of is. It's almost like the guy who like wears jeans but then a suit jacket because he's like he can't just deal with wearing a suit. That's sort of like what we're dealing with this too. So he's like, got the chain wrapped around of office kind of wrapped around his wrist sort of thing. And his act upon becoming leader, first of all, is having done so, his first act is to talk to the villagers, and it's still unclear whether or not, Genevieve, whether or not they're going to stay in Herrogate. It's unsure. But in the meantime, his second act is to reward you with treasure. You are going to get a total of
loot.
8 pounds of silver.
Oh, sweet.
And so that's going to be useful in paying your followers, which please don't let me forget. We need to do that next time.
How do I write a pound sign? God damn it.
It's like this weird like L symbol, basically, a kind of weird.
Yeah, I got it. I think I wrote it the wrong way around, but I got it.
Yeah. And let me just make sure I know about this one thing here. Okay.
Cold.
Okay, great.
No,
actually.
I'm getting cold. Maybe this is a very cold spring day.
It is a cold spring day. Thank you, Prince Justin. So he so that's his first act. You also he also speaking to you gets several bits of information. Are there any loose ends in terms of people on home, in the monastery, the campsite, any of those people that you'd like to talk to about?
Like assuming that the scope is going to show up at some point.
Yes.
Like she would like have us like talk to him in private, like about nothing in particular, just like catching up.
Okay.
Telling him what happened, that kind of jazz.
Okay.
Like reassuring him that it's now over.
Yeah, you convince him because
maybe
he actually wants to
write
quit.
a new song about
I was going to
what
say
happened here.
he wanted to quit, but you in that case could convince him to write a new song.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
okay.
she would. Because she loves music. Who doesn't love music?
Who doesn't
Come
love
on.
music? Absolutely.
Okay. And yeah, then she would like instruct her crew again to take the ship back to the monastery, but she and her followers would walk back again to check up on the girl.
On Brenda, yep.
Yeah, Brenda, that was her name. And tell her of what happened with Hilda, and give her back the sax blade that she gave us.
Okay.
And basically, so I know you wanted to go with Hilda, but what do you want to do now? This is like, I can just say this is not a safe place for you to stay on your own.
I don't know if
you want, you can come with us.
With you, like with all of you, and she looks around at like Rickmod and Galib and Mundir and all that stuff.
Have you joined the crew? The thing is, I used to be, one of the people in charge of like cooking and the kind of things, but ever since I was elected new leader, didn't really have time for that. So I guess there's an opening there.
Let me see something.
And if you don't like that, I can probably set you up back home in Xanten if you want.
I am.
Or another option, you could still go join people in Herrogate, but you didn't sound so excited about that, or the monastery.
Okay, let's see. So, okay. So, I'm going to give you an option, Genevieve.
Mm-hmm.
I will allow you to make an attempt, if you wish, to recruit Brenda as a follower.
Ooh, as a proper follower. I was just like, oh yeah, she can't join the crew.
Yes. Now, if you do that, I need to warn you or sort of remind you that technically you're at your max number.
Yeah.
So you would need to have one of your followers would need to step back and become part of like, the crew of the ship or something, but would not be an official follower. And Brenda would become a follower. Now, in case you're curious, I just happen to have here a little bit of a stat situation with Brenda.
I don't think I need that right now.
Okay.
Because I definitely don't want to dismiss any of my guys, but
okay.
I would like to keep it as an option if she joins the crew and I ever need a new follower, that I still can be like, hey, there's an opening, you want to
That's fair.
join?
And there may be other followers in future adventures that you may also decide, that it kind of works that way. I think so. Yeah, because she kind of has a bit of hero worship of all of you. She would have
Really?
joined Hilda, but
Yeah.
obviously that can't happen. So,
Hadn't figured that.
mhm. Yep. So yes, so
Uh,
she will join your crew. Um,
Sweet.
I think I will ask, since you now have with that you now have like 10 pounds of silver, I think, right?
Yes.
Which works out to 2 pounds of sugar. That's 40. That's 40 per. So that means that you have actually gone to 400 shillings, which sounds like a lot until you start paying people. Because you're going to need to pay your followers and you'll need to pay her.
Actually, can't we just like do so and so many like fractions of a pound? Like, oh god.
No, I got that covered. You don't have to worry. It's based on 10 pounds of silver, which works out to 400 shillings, but you're going to use a lot of it in paying your followers and so on. What I will say is that if you are willing to, mechanically the way this works, if you want to have her be a part of the crew, if you paid 10 shillings, she would join the crew. So you'd be down to 390 shillings. And yes, that'll be enough for you to cover the others if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So
I'm not good with numbers.
it's okay. I'm telling you that you have about 10 pounds of silver, which is a bit over at the moment. That's 400 shillings. You've used 10 of them, so it's about 390 shillings is what you have right now.
Okay.
So there's that.
390 shillings. Okay.
What about and then what about the monastery, if anything?
What did you say? How long the walk from here to Brinda's house and to the monastery was?
To the house, probably 3 to 4 hours. To the monastery, probably another, I don't know, 4 to 6. I would say probably
So
be
you
about.
can do that in a day, is what I'm saying. So I guess we would have left early in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arrived then at Brinda's place and like would leave after lunch and then arrive in the evening at the
Silent Sanctuary, as you called it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And yes, you remember.
Same deal basically. We tell them everything that happened.
Okay.
And Fefa would give the gem back to the boy.
And the boy, of course, is grateful. And despite his admiration of you, you get the impression that he's too, committed to the blind monk. To
oh no, she wouldn't ask them along. No.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Asking Brinda along was literally just, "Hey, you live in like a house that's gonna fall on your head any minute now."
Yeah, exactly.
Alone, as a child, this is not happening.
Yeah, are you going to ask the village? Actually, do you want them to help rebuild? Like, what are you going to ask from the monk?
That's up to them.
Okay.
That's not Fefa's business.
Okay.
Just like informing them what happened. Like basically, I'm imagining this like, yeah, we are just in time for dinner, and so we like sit down, eat, and like would like tell everything that happened, and then like Fefa would like get the gem back out again.
Okay.
And then I guess we would leave again in the morning.
Okay.
Leave for Xanten, I guess.
And sort of at that point leave if I'm getting that properly.
Yeah,
or...
unless there's like anything else coming up where it's like, hey, no, need to do this and that. Don't care to go back to home. Honestly, last time we went there, we were almost stabbed to death. So I'm good with that place for now. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the scope or somebody else is going to tell them what happened.
You would think.
Not my business. So yeah, like I guess, unless you have anything else to add with this,
then I would say no, except to say one thing, which is that as we sail away, I guess from
Fefa would like do one more thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead, do that. Do that.
And that is like at an opportune moment, at a quiet moment, she would like stand at the helm of the ship. And is the helm the front or the back?
The helm is the front.
I don't know English terms.
The
opposite of the helm.
Well, you have the stern, you have the bow, which is the front, and the stern is the back. Is that what you mean?
The stern, okay, would stand at the stern, and toss Thorfinn's weapons in the water.
Oh, okay.
It's a prayer.
What's the prayer?
Like basically sacrificing them to the three sisters. Would be like one of those often repeated prayers, like nothing in specific.
Mm-hmm.
Basically something thanking for the good fortunes, basically that we live to see another day.
I think then as you do that, although I am tempted to have a tentacle grab the thing from the water and then bring it, but no, I won't do that. As you sort of toss it into the water, I would say that as you're sort of heading back, you have a dream that night. And in the dream, you see the mangled body of Thorfinn, but then it is replaced by the terrifying face of the Drake. And then the people of the village, and in fact the people of this trip, Ursa the fisherwoman, the blind monk, the nameless boy, Brynda, Bo, obviously Hilda. And as you're sort of thinking about all these faces, you see behind them in your dream, you see three women that remind you a little bit at first of Rickmod. And they're sort of standing around this fire, looking in your direction. And as the things that those images in your mind of the people of the village gradually fades away, you can see these three women, and they're sort of like looking at you. They all look old, hunched over, and sort of grinning, not totally pleasantly at you. And behind them, you see something moving. It is, as you see in the way of dreams, as the light somehow comes up on it, you see it is a massive serpent moving back and forth next to the three women. And they look at you and smile unpleasantly as the serpent winds around them. And that's where we will bring our session to a close. In case you're curious, chat, the next adventure is called The Witches and the Worm. By the way, this you also have leveled to level 4.
Sisters, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Level 4, by the way. Genevieve, you are now
level
officially
4?
level 4.
2.
You were level... I had you at level... Oh, did I have you at level 2 or level 3? What were you at?
I've written down level 2.
Okay, then you're now at level 3.
I might have just written it down wrong. I mean, I did have my hit die wrongly marked down.
Yeah, I want to double check. Whatever level you were, you leveled up. So,
well, I mean, you can just like backwards construct from my hit points. Because I have +2 constitution bonus.
Right, and you had 25 hit points, which means... Oh, that's cool, Deserted.
That means I can't be higher than... what is it?
Well, your hit dice were 1d8.
16 + 4.
Right? 16 + 4 is 20. So I think actually you must be... So you must have been level 3 then.
Yeah, then I have it just wrongly marked down. That's possible.
Okay, so you are now level 4. And thank you, Emily. I'm glad. I appreciate that. So level 4, the Witches and the Worm. So yeah, you're gonna have to go take a look and see what it is that you get. Yes, and I'm glad. I did not want to, even though this took us, quite to the end where I'm gonna now have to wrap up pretty quick to get to the next one. I am glad we didn't rush it because this was a 6-part adventure. There's a lot that went on in this one. Yes. And I do want to encourage you, by the way, or I don't want to give anything away, but I do want to say that I know that this particular session had a lot of combat, and that meant that Genevieve was not at her absolute best because of that. However, I do want to say that will not necessarily be the case for the adventure to come. I'm not saying there won't be any combat, but it may not emphasize it quite as much. But also, and more importantly, there were several moments that had Genevieve not done what she did, you probably would have lost the fight. The 2 examples that I can think of are, number 1, the moment where you're basically intimidating him. Well, first of all, you had the +2 dueling for Thorfinn, so that was good. And actually, you essentially used Thorfinn as bait for the Drake, which meant that you didn't have to go fight him in the cemetery, which might have been harder. And then the other thing, most important, is when you decided to retreat into the hall. Because I thought what you might do is that you might just sacrifice Mundir and be like, well, It's been a good run.
God, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice my boys.
But I didn't know. I was like, are you going to do that? Are you going to run away? Or what are you going to do?
Never on purpose.
But the Drake at that point was just decided, like, its full attention was on you. And so
Fifa would sacrifice herself before she would sacrifice her followers.
Oh, okay. It's good because the other thing was that by putting him in there, it allowed you to get a couple of free attacks on him while he was smashing his way through the longhouse, to get in there and attack you. So that was also important to basically, you basically did everything you could. You spent your followers to try to basically act as human shields. Before they died, you pulled them out. And then you also managed to get inside the longhouse and also got in a couple more hits. And of course the weapon was important, but there is a world in which you never reassemble this weapon. And if you hadn't reassembled the weapon, you're not,
I was worried I needed more parts for the weapon.
Nope.
Maybe.
Just the crystal, the seax, and the blade. No, that was it.
Oh, good.
Those are the 3 parts. But there were moments in this adventure where I thought we were going to get them all.
From the monastery, what got one from the road, we got from the island. There must be a 4th part in Herrogate.
Yeah. No, it's the rule of 3. It's the rule of 3. I also like the relationship that you had too with Bo. I was sorry about Hilda. I mean, again,
dude.
I was sorry about Hilda, but it's just, it's a creature of vengeance. I mean, it was one of those ones where I was like, there will be other ones that are more like this, but this is the thing, Chad, and I'm glad that everyone had a good response to it. This is not heroic fantasy, right? Not in a way. It's kind of a, it's old school heroic. And there is heroism in survival. I mean, listen, most of the villagers survived, right? Most of the village is preserved in some capacity. The blind monk and the nameless boy are preserved. Brynda is preserved. So, Holm remains in its place where it was. The truth has been restored. So there are successes, but I like the fact in this sense that there wasn't a lot of Ewoks celebrating at the end of Return of the Jedi type of stuff, because it was more somber thing, mostly because the people realized that they'd been lied to for years, and they had believed in this guy, and then especially lied to after his son died and he was responsible for killing him. So, so I think that you did a lot of really great stuff to make that happen. And this is kind of a mystery unwinding what was happening with these people. But no one likes to hear that their heroes weren't their heroes. Right. And so you were sort of in the middle of that. But it was good work, a very good work on your part. And I enjoyed seeing you unravel everything. So it was an exact kind of Beowulf adventure we like. How did you feel about it today, I should ask?
When you suggested that Brynda might become another follower, I was like, really? You want to handle another follower? You're already struggling. You were so happy when it went down to 4 from 5.
But you see, I was giving you a chance. I was giving you a chance.
A chance to torture you more, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, this was incredibly good. Very sad, very exciting. All the highs and lows. This was proper... I feel like from this game you get because it's just the 2 of us playing, right, instead of a whole group, you get more of these I don't want to say scripted events, but more it feels like this is planned by a proper writer as a written story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
which is why I didn't want to rush that
story.
That's why I didn't want when you were like, I want to save the epilogue. I was like, well, let's do it now then, because I also don't want to zip past it. I want to make sure that it's
wanted there. Ow! I just hurt my tooth. That was stupid. Ow. Never mind me. While I bite my own tooth. Oh, that was weird. What did I mean to say? What were we talking about?
We were talking about you were in the ending, how you wanted to handle the sort of dismount and everything.
I definitely wanted a proper epilogue.
Yeah.
Not rush it, because this is important to me. Tie up all the ends,
Yeah. No, for sure. And it is kind of, that's one of the reasons, that's what part of what we tell the stories for, right, is to see not just the sort of plot unfold, but the effect it has on the people who are within it. So, and you're right, that gives us more opportunity to do that when you have the 2 people playing. I enjoyed watching you kind of, because it was clear, especially the Hilda thing. I felt very bad for Hilda. I really did.
Yeah.
You know, I just it I don't know. It is what it is. Like she there wasn't a whole lot that could be done about it. Because he was a creature of undeath, unfortunately. And even then,
there was a chance that there might still be a bit of humanity left, you know?
Well, there was a little bit because he was getting disadvantage on a lot of his attacks because of the presence of the axe, but also because of the presence of Hilda. In fact, that part, I'll say, is even written into the adventure about that the presence of Hilda, it didn't specify whether alive or dead or largely dead. The presence of Hilda has an effect on his attacks. So yeah, that was the deal. So yeah, it's not a happy story, but it is a story in which there is, you know,
it
some
was epic.
hope
was
that comes
really
out
epic.
of it. That's good. That's good. I'm glad, and
Really
I'm glad that you were part of you were the player that made it possible for it to be that way.
Well, I'm glad for being here. Playing with you is awesome.
Always, it's always a lot of fun doing
really
that.
Good. Like, don't really get like those moments where it's like really just like back and forth, like proper in-depth character role playing, like with Bo earlier.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That is.
Yeah, I love that sequence.
Good shit.
I did love that sequence because I totally imagined. I know you do this too. I was totally imagining like the two of them sitting there and, you know, Bo being like, this all sucks, and Genevieve being like, well, you're probably the best leader, and Bo being like, well, yeah, like, but that sucks too, you know, like, because really you were like, well, who
sucks,
else? And you're like, nobody else. Yeah. He kept trying to be like, you should be the one. You're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go be a hero.
An outsider,
you know?
madness.
Yeah,
also
exactly.
Better things to do, honestly.
Well, that's what I was thinking about Imaginary when you said the whole thing about buy the dice roll playing an adventure in Conan the Barbarian. Like, I just have the image of like Conan, you know, slumped on his throne being like, this sucks. I don't want, you know, like Conan doesn't want to be a ruler really. He says he does, but he wants to go out and like, you know, swing his axe and do stuff. Like, doesn't want to be running taxes and, you know, figuring out
scared
levies.
Of magic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know.
Oh,
no. Conan was quite smart. I'm not talking about that, but he gets bored if he has to sit around and listen. You know the deal with this, Triffid. The end of, you know, Ulysses, it little profits that an idle king should sit and listen to the blah, 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 right? Like, you know, Ulysses, right? He doesn't want to sit there and listen to people. It sucks. He wants to go out and, you know, recapture his glory days. Yeah. So, but it was great stuff, Tari.
And also another scene I'm very grateful for that I got to do that was like the whole, like, asking Arn to stand down. Like, that was fun. Yes.
And I wondered a little bit about that. That was, you know, because obviously you remembered, you know, the effect that had with Hilda. And that was interesting because it does sort of fit Genevieve, that Runesild wouldn't do that, I assume, right? Runesild would just be like, go after her and like attack directly.
This would have gone completely different with Runesild.
Yeah.
Like, my God, Runesild would have not tried to go for a peaceful love. She would be like, oh, cool, let's go kill a monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
go. Exactly. So I really like how Genevieve has developed as a character where Genevieve has not become like, I really am Runesild, you know, although she can, you know, kind of come close to it at times when she wants to, but also that she's going to, obviously I imagine she will grow into the role, but she's still going to grow into the role in her own way, not grow into the role as Runesild, you know, so.
Like, she's like basically just like, whenever she's like doubtful of what to do, then she's like, hey, what would Runesild do? But ultimately she's like her own person.
Yeah.
Like,
which is great. It's what makes her interesting. So, all right, Tari, I gotta get moving here. So, where will so it's great work today. I already know the answer to this, but where will the folks see you next?
Probably is it next Tuesday? I'm like on for like a lot of Tuesday. Aren't I on for like 3 weeks?
3 in a row. We got Game Book Illustration stream next Tuesday, where we wrap up Skylord, and then we're back to this new adventure.
Nice. So basically making up for last month because I was so sick. It's not fun. I couldn't go to the amusement park like I had planned. It's too sick to go.
Well, I'm glad you are feeling better now.
Yeah, I am too, believe me.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better now, just in time to defeat an undead thing. So.
Yes. Oh, as one does. So yeah, thank you very much for having me. Next Tuesday here, same bad time, same bad channel. You can follow me on Tumblr, on Blue Sky, and on Kara at TariToons, where I post my art. And that's me.
Very good stuff again, Tari. It's always a pleasure to do this. And yes, chat, Tari Tuesdays will continue next Tuesday with the conclusion of the fighting game, which I'm really looking forward to because it's been a couple months since we were able to do that. So the fighting fantasy game book illustration stream of Skylord, where we will wrap up that book at long last. So that'll be happening as well. Chat, can we get some love for TariToons? Tari, good work tonight, and I will see you next week, actually.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
All right. TariToon Tuesdays will continue till morale improves. That's funny. All right, good stuff. Well, really enjoyed that. And again, what I really like about this game is the fact that it is unapologetically what it is. Right? So my favorite kind of thing is fully heroic fantasy, which means that I really love them. I do like, I mean, I heard the thing about Greek and Roman being more about triumphalism. I probably am a little more myself in the triumphalist camp when it comes to different kinds of role play. But I like this because I think in particular as a duet system. I'm not sure whether I would like Beowulf as much as a group system, just because I think there's so much emphasis on the individual hero role play. So having an opportunity to do this with them is, hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend, and welcome, everybody. So yeah, it was great to really get an opportunity to kind of delve into that. And The Witches and the Worm is weird, and I'm looking forward to it. It is the next in this, which is the Trials of the Twin Seas. So we have now done the one that was called Horror at Herrogate. And the next one is called The Witches and the Worm. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. And it's going to be a good time. Oh, I'm glad, Emily, and I'm glad it was a fun game to watch, Triffid. You all folks made it. And also, again, you're going to have to back us up so that when everyone's like, why are there no inspirations left? You could be like, so there was a dead guy, like we had to use a lot of inspirations to help out Artari, but we did. We made it. We got through. We survived. We managed to get through. So thanks to chat for all the inspirations that we had, and now you just got the rest of the month to get through with the inspirations that are there. Remember, you can always get more if you support at a high enough tier, or you can always. Inspirations are more available. But all right, I got to get going because I literally am supposed to be over at GOG.com in like a minute, so I got to get moving. Tari had a boss fight. It's all the explanation needed. That's true. And it's about tale telling, right? That'll be a part of that as well. So chat, I got to rise up on out of here. Again, I want to thank everyone for making this an awesome stream today. Please follow the channel. Check out my YouTube with !ArvTube. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. Discord is !ArvCord. You can hang out with us in between streams. Twitter, !ArvTweets. Blue Sky, especially want to send you over to that and my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe on my YouTube channel. We're moving in on 1,100 subscribers. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out and our algorithm. So please do subscribe over on YouTube. We will be at a new record every new subscriber we get, so please join us over there. Again, Twitter, I'm trying to push people away. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, but the real one I want you to follow me on in terms of the social media stuff besides YouTube is Blue Sky, !ArvSky, because I'm over there quite a bit. TikTok is !ArvTalk. Again, for those of you who missed this, I have a social media manager who's coming on board and is going to be helping stuff with Gen GMs, which is the show that I do with Zach Clay, my channel, and also also By the Dice Roll, which plays over on GOG.com right now. So there's that. Then we've got, let me see, that was our tweets. I don't think I have, let me just double check something today. Do I have, one second. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm just looking at my schedule to make sure about something. Okay, good. I do have Songs of Conquest. Whew. For a minute, I was like, wait, do I have By the Dice Roll today? Because if I have By the Dice Roll, I am going to be super late. But that's fine. Songs of Conquest, I'll be able to get done. And I'm almost done with Songs of Conquest, by the way. So it's either this session or next session, I'll be done with it. So if you want to check out Fantasy Strategy, you should head over to GOG.com in just a bit. Again, so website for this, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop, that's the merchandise area. !ArvTrayon, yeah, thank goodness. I was like, woo. !ArvTrayon is the Patreon. where you can support me. That is different stuff than you get from subbing, so both of those things are valuable to support me on. If you're able to do so, would appreciate that very much. Also, subbing to the channel, you get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. On the publishing front, exclamation point Icarus is my graphic novel from Athos Arts. Exclamation point Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And speaking of Alligator Alley, they will be responsible for the Greyshade tabletop role-playing game. Exclamation point Greyshade gives you the 3 books from the amazing Athos Arts, Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic. Those are available there right now. Also, the audiobook of Greyshade from Trent Sparks available there right now. And you can pre-order that tabletop role-playing game I mentioned based upon my Greyshade universe, which is called Greyshade, being done by The Rising Tides, Brandon O'Brien, and Alligator Alley Entertainment. That will be out this year for sure. It's going to be out in the summer of this year. So go and pre-order it now, because as we just saw, pre-orders are love, pre-orders are life. Please do that. And as always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. And send the message we will do so for others in the future as well. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream tonight. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Dragon Spear, Emily the Invincible Hillness, Triffity Mats, and I saw Prince Justin hanging around here as well. I mean, actually, I never saw him at all. Not at all. Never in the least. Anyway, they're the best mods in the business. Thank you so much, everyone. Good luck with the shoveling as well, Hillness. Merry Orthodox Christmas, Dragon Spear. Thank you so much as well to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers. Thank you to Dragon, to Emily, to Hillness, to Triffid, to Effect Life, to Chris Agrim, and to Imaginary Exponent. And while I'm on the subject of Chris Agrim, remember this coming Thursday on my channel will be the conclusion of Beyond Shadowgate. So you'll definitely want to be here for that game that I was privileged enough to be able to interview Christian Mosley from Zojoy for. It was amazing and awesome. Oh, so good luck with your shoveling as well, Triffid. Good luck for anyone who's doing any shoveling. We somehow, where I am in Connecticut, missed it. There was just a little dusting of snow, but there was no real shoveling to be done, so we missed that. So, but everyone, good luck with that. Good luck to my wonderful, as well, and much love to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Antoine, Big Boss, Black Fury, Butthurt Gamer, Jagtris. Thank you to Kunki. Thank you to Nonstop, who is a subscriber but is hanging out there. Thank you to Lego Freak. What's up, Lego Freak? A foot of snow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, again, good luck with everything. Thank you to Cubix. Thank you to Saturnius. Thank you so much to Yadasak. And thank you to Zach Clay, who is hanging out here as well, my partner in crime on Gen GMs, and also one of the our vocalist voice actors, and also on my Hearthglow podcast, and also one of the players for Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, about which more there is a lot coming up on Saturday. Oh man, I've gotten a big lore drop, and we are going to have a bunch of that coming up on Saturday. Remember also tomorrow night on this channel, Community D&D Waterdeep Dragon Heist with the Shadow Crew, and that's always a blast as well. That's it for me. I will see you over on GOG.com as soon as I can make the change. So basically in the next 5 to 10 minutes, join me over there for Songs of Conquest. Otherwise, I'll see you back here tomorrow night for Community D&D with the Shadow Crew, and Thursday night for the conclusion of Beyond Shadowgate. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other. Special thanks to my dear friend TariToons for her amazing work today, as Genevieve has made it to level 4. We will see what happens next. But that's it for now. Much love, and everyone be good to each other. I'll see you in a little while. Bye-bye. Then on the strand, with steeds and treasure and armor, their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold. On the mead bench, since he was better esteemed, that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding, they drove through the deep, and Daneland left. A sea-cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that wave swimmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the Geatish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand updrove. Helpful at haven the harbour guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar.